What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players, to another installation of the Siege Double Shot, coming at you Contender League style. It's the grand finals, baby. I am the Reverend Whiskey Glitter, and with me, as always, my partner and co-host, Mr. Whiskey Run. What you say, Whiskey?
Welcome everyone to the Outlast Contender League Grand Final. It started back in February and we have finally hit the grand final point here. And between the three different leagues that Outlast has, the Classic Series, the Contender League, and Arena, finally going to find out which team is going to be seated in that position to fight for relegation and promotion into the Outlast Classic Series. We saw that grand final take place last weekend. Now we get to see how the Contender League, the mid league, is going to work itself out tonight. And we've got two great teams that have fought their way through the bracket. So let's take a quick look at it.
Yeah, let's take a look. So tonight, coming at you, gonna be the Zomblers versus Wanted Goons Academy. And why don't you walk us through the bracket here, Mr. Run?
That's right. One of the things you notice is Wanted Goons appears in the quarterfinals. They were playing originally as Snug & Co., but picked up by the Wanted Goons as their academy team April 17th. So just a few weeks ago, as in the quarterfinals, they were able to find that spot and make it in. Got a couple great teams that fought along the way. Zomblers there also changing their name. That was Guerrilla Warfare back in round one. So Zomblers, sorry, had a bye coming in as they were the top in their group along with Fox and Stim Bears and Cynical Academy. So they fought their way through as well. A couple of these teams we're going to see both here in the third place match. That one's just for some clout, not going to be part of the relegation. They're going to have to qualify to see if they can make it in next season. So from a prize pool perspective, we're looking at $500 here for the Contender League series, with 300 going to the first place team, 150 going to the second place team, and then 50 for that third place team. So I'm going to find out which of these ones is it going to be. So I'm going to take a look at the teams now next. Who's going to be playing tonight on these two, Zomblers and Wanted Goons?
Yeah, it's going to be a couple of names that you know very well. On the side of Zomblers, Flixer, Blake, Sibwe, Yen, and Fire. On the side of the Wanted Goons Academy, Scary, Gekyu, Eli, Butcher, and I'm not
Lecky.
sure on the Lecky. We'll call it Lecky on the last one there. So a couple of names that you've seen on the double shot quite a few times. So there'll be some fun nostalgia for you, as we've seen. Man, what were you saying pre-show that we've seen some of these teams like 3 or 4 times together now.
Yeah, that's right. Flixer and part of the Zomblers team, we have seen them fight through in multiple different teams, Void Origins, Mouse One, as well as part of the Zomblers team since the beginning of the year, playing in the Skyline Finals, playing in a few other leagues as well. And on the Wannagoon side, definitely some names. We even got a chance to cast a few of these guys, Scary and Butcher. Last night, they were playing as Arrow's Basement, if you remember that from the stream yesterday in the Blitz Gaming Series kickoff tournament. They lost in overtime to Aerial Arise, and it was a close game. A close game. So, based on last night, if you had to pick a favorite, I'm edging a little bit towards the Wanted Goons Academy team here because they had a hell of a run last night. But Zomblers, I'm sure, are looking to put up a fight.
Yep, absolutely. And where are we going to put the fight up at, my friends? Let's check out the map bands so we can see where we're headed. Now, remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So we are looking at a best of 5 Skyscraper and Cafe, the first to go, which means our first 2 picks will come through as Bank and Border. Not going to be your standard starts here, which I'm kind of here for, right? And both of them picking defense on that as well. In fact, that will be a reoccurring theme of the evening, defense going all the way down. Clubhouse and Night Haven, the next to fall, Chalet and Oregon. A nod to the classics here for the third and fourth, and then should it be deemed necessary, should fate decide it so, Consulate for a decider on map number 5.
Yeah, are we going to get to that point? We're going to make it? I think it's about time to find out as well. So we've got all the teams ready. They're in the lobby. It's time, my friend.
That's right. Let's hit it. Let's get it. Okay, so we're talking map number 1, Whiskey. We're talking about Bank. And we're big fans of Bank because it's so spread out, which means we get to see a lot of dynamics, a lot of operator changes being brought. Unless whatever it is working, then of course it's just going to then we're going to see the same lineup over and over again between the 2F and the basement locations.
Yeah, good question to see. How is it going to play out? And that first one coming out, Monty, unfortunately, or fortunately, I suppose, big pick there. We have definitely seen him be an important part of the attacking lineup on Bank. But Zomblers, starting off on defense, do not want to have to deal with it.
That's right. So get him off the board, get him out of there. Next going to be followed up is the Ying Call, which means Dokkaebi going to be able to be a viable option here on the attack side of it. Suss out where those roam game are. Couple that with the Amaru coming in for that top floor control. Still going to be quite a quite attacking setup. On the defensive side of it, I imagine we'll stick to the standards, but there could be the chance that after the Fenrir ban, we might see the Valk, we might see the Mira, but more than likely, we're probably going to see that Solus ban.
Solus feels like a good one, but like you called it out, Valk was a potential, but there it is, Solus going out. Both the intel operators going to be choosing which kind of intel do you want to have to deal with.
That's right. Okay, this is it. The grand finals for all the glory, all the money, and it comes down to a best of 5. Take it up top as we're going to head to the 2F location. Started out with a primary site being somewhat, predictable, right? We generally see it started up on the 2F. They are going to bring some really fun operators to the board. A little bit of that site redirect or re-architectures, both Castle and Azami going to be brought to the table. This is starting to become one of the standards here for holding this 2F. It stops that vertical pressure that the Repel puts on. Instead of, you get yourself a little bit of cover to hide behind, make them expend some utility to get into those windows, and once they get into sight, still have to navigate through whatever castle barricades are being put up in the trench warfare of Azami. I really like the combo moves being brought out here. And then, of course, we talked about it, Whiskey. Valkyrie going to be on the board. Intel being huge, of course, in Rainbow Six right now.
Yeah, for sure, and especially because Bank has got a lot of open areas, a lot of spaces that if you can get one cam in, you can cover. Square, lobby, a lot of big open areas, right? A lot of sight lines created from the teams themselves. So it's Valkyrie's got a lot of potential here. When you have to choose, are you going to take the Solus off? The drones can kind of do the same thing for the attacker. So do you want to deny attacker intel or do you want to provide defensive intel? And right now, Zombler's starting off on defense when I have that Valkyrie as an option. So she's very powerful on this map, and I think we'll see how that plays out here.
Yeah, absolutely. On the attack side of it, going to be a little bit of a fun lineup to the board. We're going to see the smokes and the fire, the Capitao, which imagine will be looking towards that plant area or potentially trying to chase whoever's going to be in that E3 area. That's, of course, the Azami setup. Of course, really dug in up top. They're going to try to hold on to that E3 wall as well. Ash to get in there quick, and then the Dokkaebi, as we were mentioning, this is a huge map. Right, this has got a lot of space for cheeky play here, and kind of like the rat plays, and there it is, exactly what we were talking about. I'm gonna try to flush her out of there.
Yep.
And so Dokkaebi great for getting those players dislodged from their position, knowing that they're getting spotted out by some sound. First kill going to be as Eli takes on. Wamai takes him right off the board, and that's going to put the body bounce in favor of Wildcard Academy.
Oh, it's so close with the fire, not going to be able to dislodge her though. But interesting, we had seen a really cheeky angle hold that window that normally goes for the Kanto wall, just placed back a little bit. So the defense not going to try and take that one, but unfortunate. Gek running around, finds fire to start that one off. So, and speaking of fire, Blake survived the fire there in E3 and has managed to block off a bunch of this lines of sight that the attackers were trying to put in through that Kanto wall.
That's right, but with no way out, she's going to find herself trapped in the box, going to pay the price for it, and then it's going to be traded out as we're going to see the Dokkaebi fall and the Capital next, but it puts all onto the shoulders of Flixer in this 1v3, takes one on the stairs, pivots around towards that spiral area. He's getting the calls, but the window is going to find him first as geez, now I said it, as Goons Academy, thanks a lot, Jay, as Goons Academy going to take their first round.
Nice win there. So, going to see the attackers take it to start off, like you said it, playing very aggressively there, but running very standard strats, I'd say, on that 2F bank. So, what's the Zomblers going to do? Not go back, not try something else. Going to try that 1F site, see whether or not they can find a different way to play here downstairs. And we had seen the rise of 1F, we talked about, as a lot of the different maps in the competitive pool have moved into a first floor meta on these 3-floor sites as an option for trying to hold on to, play it like it's a second floor site, but also give the attackers that added challenge of clearing the top floor and then having to get downstairs and plant. So on a big map like that, gives them a little bit of added advantage, and we're going to see whether or not the Zomblers, sure, they've got some practice strats. This is Goon's map pick, though, so we expect them to do very well here.
Yeah, so we're going to see pretty much a similar similar kind of lineup that we saw being brought out on the 2F location with the addition of the Mira, at Frost, and the Aruni coming out. So a little bit of a slowdown here, providing some extra sight lines. Going to make you use some utility, possibly some of your drones on those Aruni gates. And then on the other side of it, we've got ourselves a pretty practiced setup on the attack, right? Osa going to be brought in for those shields, might be looking at potential of walking into that E-box area, Flores, to get rid of some of that extension util, mainly being those Kiva barriers, which we regularly see lined up so devilishly inside of the kitchen area. And then, of course, Gridlock being brought out to solidify not getting flanked, right? Cutting off all those angles, getting some of those sound cues, and providing a little bit of lethality. Oh, speaking of lethality, Frost's gonna find one easy. That's the Gridlock off the board. That's gonna put the body bounce in favor of Zomblers.
That's that 2.5x there, just coming out and making that a easy shot there from down below, playing in the archives area. Eli's gonna try and find where exactly was Frost playing. Well, found her there. She made the rotate in. Didn't realize that Eli had made that rotate up and in. But the trade's just coming out like crazy. It's a 3v1. Zomblers now firmly in control of the body balance here to try and find another. But on the marble stairs, Aruni going to win that fight.
Yeah, it's the devastation of the DMR. You hear us talk about it all the time. Okay, so not a bad round. That's going to be a 1-1 apiece as what is often regarded the tertiary site hold out as the secondary. We're going to see lockers and CCTV for the end of the first round rotate, and it's going to be very similar to well, not very similar actually. We're going to focus on some very huge area denial. Smoke and Goyo going to be coming out, two different pro strats being put into one. And it's really going to focus on making sure that they can't come in through that server area and plant on that door, that back plant, which is just seen so often. So some C4s on the board, a little bit of area denial, and a ton of intel as they're going to bring out some BPs as well.
Yep, and this, like you said, the pro strat there, bringing out the Mira Goyo. This is a very practiced strat again for Bank. But so now, how is Goons going to approach it? We saw some great play on Bank again between Aerial Arise last night in that Blitz Gaming series, playing on Bank. So here's the question: they got a little bit of practice on it. Is this going to be the map that they take it here on attack? My guess is yes.
Yeah, but look at this setup. I mean, we are extended upstairs in a heavy way. Really going to try to deny that verticality. And this is a good setup. Locking themselves down with the castle, force you to use the utility. Now, here's the problem. If the IGL sees that there's only, 1 to none members in sight, then we're going to see a little bit more of a site direct here for sure.
Yeah, it looked like 1 or 2. It was 2 or 3 there playing in dirt. And look at that. The smoke's coming out. Going to try and clear out Osa, but she goes down. Gonna lose her life. That's Eli going down there, trying to play behind the Osa shield to Talon, but a couple of well-placed smokes there. Gonna clear her out, but that really loses his utility, so they've wasted 2 of those really important piece of area and plant denial utility there for the end game. We're only a minute into this round, so we're gonna see whether or not that was calculated risk on the Goon side, hoping to gain a little bit of advantage, but taking away all of Smoke's utility, that's a big piece there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, was the trade worth it? That will be the question in the end. We're going to see Cade Sniper Shoddy find one as well, as that's going to be doubled down on the man advantage, headed in favor of the Zomblers. Minute and 40 left on the board, and you're going to see Flixer start to rotate back down to side as he gets the call that there's going to be some shenanigans here. Coming in through the server area. A couple of Goyos to start to go off. They do still have one of the Talon shields up, so it will provide a little bit of cover, a little bit of protection once we start to see that execution of the plant start to go down.
I hadn't noticed that they put one of the mirrors upstairs in that open office area, but look at that ace crouch peeking over. The defense does not swing. They don't try and block that, but it looked like yeah, I think he got the other mirror window with the ace charge there.
Yeah, that was a good call. Now takes away the security of that mirror window, and now that's all the Goyos out and done with. It's going to come down to the last few seconds here for the plant, and you know that in this 5, they're starting to rotate back around, starting to come back on. They're holding the long angle back from Vault. This is not a bad area, and they still have 2 C4s on the board to help deny that plant. Speaking of, here it goes. As Ace starts to get it, takes it to 50 to 75. They're not going to do anything. They're not coming up to stop it. And all of a sudden, just like that, it's a post-plant scenario, but it is going to be Flixer to take one as they find themselves hugely in the man advantage now. Smoke canisters out, and that is going to stop one, but you run, you die, going to get shot in the back. Now going to all rest on the shoulders of Scary in this 1v4 post plant. All it's going to take is 1 to take the gunfight and 1 to take the plant. There's the plant going down. He's going to find that one. Now puts him into a 3v1. Not pushing from the right. There's going to be the shotgun to come around and take it. Flixer with a triple kill. They're going to be able to find this, and it was so close to being won by the defense. Just couldn't take the swing.
Oh, that was some siege timing there as Smoke walked around the corner, and Scary just had to make the choice. Are you looking up blue? Did we see a flank happen, or were they going to push directly through the doorway? And he turned at the exact moment that Smoke pushed through. Yeah, that looked like the Zomblers had the utility to be able to deny the plant. They had 1 smoke left, and it was a great combo of utility where they used the ace to get rid of the mirror window rather than use the ash charge to break it, and then use Ash to finish off and clear the rest of the Goyo canisters, giving them time to get that plant down. And I think that we would have seen them win that round, with the exception of Witcher getting shot in the back as he tried to make it back to the bottom of blue, and then that super unfortunate siege timing with the turning on the smoke. So that could have easily been a GOONS ACAD win, but just everything went right for the Zomblers there after what seemed like everything went wrong to start with. They were able to get the plant down, so it seems like that was a good trade for utility to start off with. Just could not finish that round out.
Yeah. Yep, aptly said. Well summarized, I believe. They had it going, then the reverse card was put down, and it all went sideways, my friend. So we head back up to the 2F side as the round rotate has been commenced. We're in the back half of the first map. Man, why do I always that is always such a tough one to say. And it's going to be a similar setup to what we've seen, except for we're going to bring the mirror on board as well instead of the castle this time, and mute to bring out a little bit of that intel deny that you were talking about, you know, the choice being made earlier. On the attacking side of it, going to not opt for the ace, a little bit of that long distance, going to try to outmaneuver those impacts this time as they take on the E3 wall, because that is really one of those critical push points. This is one of those areas where if you're going to have any sort of backside presence, you have to take control of that spiral and E3 area. Already we're going to see a bunch of damage as DMR going to ring out and take the Lamai off the board and going to put it in the 5v4 quite early into the round as the first minute has ticked off. And there's going to be the first bit of Hibana charges going through right now.
Yep, trying to clear those out. She's able to get one, but Blake playing that same strategy here, able to use the combination of utility and those Kiba barriers to block it off. Vanna's gonna have to use a little bit extra to open it, but she just took down the barrier, not opened up a little bit larger wall. So this time they still have got the Capital on the Goons Academy side to try and use that to continue to clear that E3 location. That's just an important point. And they know Archives was a place that the Zomblers were hiding defensively during the last time we played this site. So you're going to see Gek try and push down and clear that.
Yep, and look, he's got his back to this too. This could be a huge play here. Starts to push up, gonna find him in the back, gonna rotate in through Kitchen, try to find it onto the Valkyrie as well as the pinch starts to happen from the Capitao. Two of them coming together. They're gonna make this, and he hears it. Got a little bit of the intel, getting ready for that swing. They're waiting for both of them to get into place here.
Oh, yeah, looking Butcher holding that angle, trying to find it, and seeing Eli continue to try and open up that wall. Now much closer, but Fire in a position to take one, almost a second, but he runs out of the elevator at just the wrong time. But Butcher has got just a sliver of health left, just running. That was unfortunate. Could have maybe survived there and won that fight versus Butcher, but Blake going crazy right now.
Yeah, Zombler's not willing to give any. Blake just coming up with some individual heroics, finds himself a 3-piece. And that's going to win the round for his team. Absolutely. Started falling sideways, but man, you stack up, and that's about it. 3-1 now in favor of the defense, as we're going to see that first floor site one more time.
Yep, got to go back. I guess you don't. Now you've won basement and 2F in a row, so now is the time to go back to that site. This was the first one they won. The site they lost was 2F, so they found their redemption from a defensive perspective, winning the round. So now the rotate, the winning rotate is done. Going to go back to this first floor open, which they did win. So now expecting the Goons to change up the strategy a little bit. We know they had a heavy 2F, like you called it out, roam presence upstairs. Going to see Mira run up there immediately, try and find a position to put those windows and block this attacking team go in. But I fully expect them to have a alternative strat here coming in to push now that they've seen how Zomblers is going to play this first floor site.
Yeah, I'm thinking so as well. But with the addition of that heavy presence upstairs, that mirror really going to make it tough to utilize this RAM. Although that's one of the fun parts about this new operator is you don't have to put yourself into harm's way to actually start opening up the floors in here. So it's going to be a fun interaction on both sides of it and lying on the board for that intel as well. Bravo to really, I guess, mostly go for that. Must have been assuming they were going to bring a mute or something out, maybe a maestro like we see for this site all the time, but could just be the comfort pick, right? Brava's an insane operator with a good gun, so send her in, click heads, easy win strat.
Yeah, like you called it, there's plenty of defaults and things you can try and get rid of, but yeah, that the Power 308, definitely a devastating weapon there for her to be able to bring out. But like you said, comfort pick. She's got a lot of mobility, a lot of utility as well. So those Kludz drones, stealing the defensive intel. Maybe they were expecting the Valk, maybe they just hadn't seen it, like you said. So question now, are they going to manage? Got Fire playing upstairs and Janitor, and like you said, heavy roam presence upstairs.
First minute going to start to tick away. Seeing some real estate being taken by Scary here as he's coming in through that garage area, kind of trying to start to form that push, but it looks like maybe a bit of intel has gone off, that maybe there's not so many in sight, and you can start to see the players converging on the first floor area, getting off the roof, taking a little bit of that reset, try to find out where a few of those players are. Still got to contest with this Goya, who's holding a devilish little angle here, and that's going to be Butcher to find the first one, as that redirect plan seems to have at least paid off for the first kill.
It's such a dangerous strategy, though, to try and push without clearing those upper floors, because there is so much above that you can try and deny some of this play from the attackers if they were to try to get a plant down. So, yes, if there is an opening, not a lot of people on site, you can go for it and make the push, but it just becomes dangerous late round if you've got the defenders still upstairs who can put that vertical pressure down.
Yep, and so starting to see a little bit of a need for movement here out of the attack teams. You're right, still haven't dislodged them, and that's going to be fire not being dislodged, but instead being effective on the other side of it, finding a kill. Now putting the body balance back into favor of the Zomblers. 35 seconds on the board. Going to see Yen starting to push around, still holding on to that vertical. It's going to be Goyle going to be the next to fall. Azami going to fall in sight as well, as they're just kind of rushing into sight and making sure that they can take it now
They've
into
got
a
it.
3v2, into a 2v1 as the plant starts to go down, but they're going to jump off the hatch drop, and that's going to be Wamai getting dealt with as a little bit of that sight direct proved to be the critical point here.
Yeah, you saw the last defender alive drop the hatch, but it was at the wrong time. They had good coverage there from the attackers downstairs. Won a couple of those important gunfights. Still held on to enough vertical control. GOONS ACAD taking their second here on attack. Good strategy there. Gonna go back down to the basement again. Zomblers won this one, but this is when we saw Goons get that plant down and just barely lose it from that reposition on Butcher and then that siege timing. So this is one that was very close. We'll see whether or not they can keep it close to roll into the last round of the first half.
And it looks like Whiskey with the castle on the board. We're going to see more dedication, more investment to that roam game. One of those mirrors is going to be placed up top. And you can already see hatches open, so they're going to be making sure that not only are they going to stall out just as much time as physically possible, but they're also, of course, going to have an escape route, have a way to bunker back down. So at like a minute left, you'll start to see the defense rotating back down towards site and bunkering back down for the potential server play yet again. No OSA on the board this time for the attack side. Gonna stick that dope though.
Yeah, Blake gonna be playing on that smoke, watching the dirt, playing those blue stairs in the server area, trying to find who is going to be pushing up from that side. But a much more heavy second floor presence, and Flixer gonna find the first. That's scary off the board. So that's the ace. Unfortunately, now gonna have to stick with just using the ash charges there to try and open up any of those mirror windows, or crack them is the only option.
Yeah, and stick the buck for those can openers getting into that server area. Now they did, of course, don't have to worry about the hatches. They've already been opened up, at least in the open area, but still going to contend with anybody who's still holding up there. But it looks like might have actually, they already rotated back down, so they're going to claim this real estate at a minute in. Maybe a little bit early for the fall off, of course, but then again, they know.
They do. That's right. So you're playing comp. They're going to close off or break that mirror. Going to have to rotate, and Buck there, able to open up those soft walls and rotate around the closed off castle barricade. So definitely slowing down the rotate there from the attack and forcing them into what potentially are the areas that this defense is looking for. So Kaid playing back on E1, trying to hold on to some of this angle, but that hatch is open. Mira playing there as well. So now, which way are we going to see this execute shape up? Getting themselves looking like for marble here to start with.
Yeah, a little bit of marble, a little bit of hatch play. Look to smoke it out, flash it, and then drop. Oh, except for they're just going to open it up. Unaware that Flixer is still in there. He gets ripped apart, and that is going to be really unfavorable for the attack team as we're looking to solidify ourselves on a 4-2 split. Looking for some more of that hatch drop. That hatch play, going to take a few shots on the ash and just push themselves back in, just waste more and more of that time. It's 44 seconds left on the board. It's going to be the rotate around, knowing that they've got somebody potentially be stuck in that server area.
Yeah, stuck is definitely the one way of thinking about it, but for sure he's continuing to hold that area, and great Triggle discipline coming out there from Flixer to try and wait until Buck opened up the wall and then cleared him out while he was reloading. But the trade's just falling like crazy now, seeing swings on the stairs. Got one left. Flicks are going to finish it off. Boy, he was all over the board. I think that first kill came from Garage, played in the back of Server, and then going to rotate into Vault. He had that entire bottom floor covered, my friend.
Yeah, I thought there was still hatch presence up there, so a rotate back into sight would have, of course, taken him out. Not going to be the case. Not stuck. Going to find that final kill and put us on a 4-2 for the split. So we're going to switch gears here and now see the op swap, see what Zombler's going to bring to their attack, see if they're going to be able to maintain that same aggression they've been showing so far, or if one of Goons Academy going to prove themselves defensive demons.
That would be my guess. Again, this is their map pick, so you expect when Wanagoons makes this their first pick, it's a best of 5, so sometimes you don't see the T4, T3 teams have such a deep map pool, but one thing you definitely expect is that their first pick they're going to be very comfortable on. So when you make that pick, you're going to start off on attack probably 90% of the time, unless you're playing Army of 5. So they knew they were going to have to start on attack. So this is exactly the strategy I think that they would have expected this to play out at. You got the standard split. You got the 4-2. Now it's time. If this is the time for the Zomblers to have to lock in, otherwise we could see the Goons ACAD team roll here.
I guess we'll find out. Similar setup. Going to change one thing. Bring out the Warden. So not going to be deterred by those smokes or those flashes that are on the board. 3 flashes, 2 smokes. The rest is going to be soft breach for opening up everything, which means I imagine we're going to see a bit looking towards that 2F location. Suss out that roam game pretty early. You can already see Thatcher pushing into the server area, taking some of that real estate downstairs. Now he's being a little bit sneaky. He's holding. He's waiting. He's going to get droned in and potentially find himself a kill.
They still have got to clear out these the Goyo canisters, so they're no, that's a unfortunate DC there with just already a minute into the round, so hopefully going to be able to get back before the round. May have to take a little bit of a break, but yeah, like you said, good trigger discipline there from Thatcher, waiting. At least the hard breach is still on. You still have got the thermite in place to be able to try and get this thing open. So going to use the Thatcher to clear out all of the electronic utility. Still going to have to deal with the gun of Mira, though, holding back in sight, taking the long shot. But Butcher going to come down and reclaim the stairs that he lost back on round 3.
Oh, the double drop the drop and the push down the stairs, but a zombie gonna get down and now puts us into 1v3, all put it on the shoulders of Ash. And they're looking for him, spraying and praying through the wall, seeing if they're gonna find one of those extras. It's looking towards that hatch. You can see him basically peeking every single thing. A couple of pre-fires that ring out, not gonna amount to anything, but now he knows. He sees that somebody's there. Boy, with a minute left, yeah, not going to be much that he's going to be able to do here, and that's going to be one for the defense.
Literally a scary situation you got to deal with when you're not sure whether or not you're going to get flanked from the top of the hatch or whether or not the team is going to push from down direct. And scary, unfortunately, losing that one, having to continually check the hatch, not able to push up on the bomb chassis. So going to see 4-3 as Wanagoons take their first on defense. And great hold downstairs. Unfortunate disconnect, though. So playing most of that round 4v5 to start with. We'll see how it ends up now. 5v5.
Yep, that's right. We're going to take it up to the 2F. Hey, I've seen this lineup before. Seems to be getting pretty standard here for the 2F location. Lots of redirect, lots of architectural changes being brought about, but same hold, right? Castle and Azami being utilized together. Now, here's the fun part. It is going to be the Mira setting up for that janitor hold inside of sight yet again, and somebody for that long table as well. I mean, it's a good setup. That's why we see it so often, of course.
To me, the interesting thing here is we are, several months into the year 9 season 1, right? And we're already on I believe the third patch, or at least the second update here for this season. And it's been very consistent pretty much all of year 9. The changes that we've seen Ubisoft push out to the game, balancing utility gadgets, hasn't really made that much of a difference in the way that we're seeing some things played out, right? This defensive lineup is what we're seeing across the board: different maps, different competitive teams, different strategies, but for the most part, very similar. So it's, we haven't seen that huge shift after everybody got comfortable with the attachment changes. We have really locked in here on year 9 and how the game is being played, especially on Bank.
Yep, absolutely. Yes, that is the truth. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, so starting to see some of that repel action being brought out as A's going to open up that back wall. Give himself a little bit of a sight line, a little bit of crossfire should he choose to enter in, but he's still got to contend with this Mira who's locked in inside of that janitor area. This time, though, going to take impact trick to take those Hibana charges off immediately, so not going to be able to open anything up just yet and save some of those Kiva barriers for a few of those later pellets. Maybe try to stall her out just a little bit more. It's going to be shots fired from the rappel, and that's going to be an easy kill onto the mute as Flixer takes him down. Blake to find another. He's just having a great game right now. 9-4, Whiskey.
Yeah, 9-4. What a great place to be able to support the team. But we're seeing the utility from the attackers come out. The interesting thing here from a defensive perspective is when we saw Bank played yesterday between Outlast Black and Aerial Arise, the way to take down the Demon team was just be incredibly aggressive on defense, and it was very successful from the Outlast Black side. We haven't seen either of the team really approach their defense in that kind of aggressive way. We're not seeing the runs, the jumps, playing much more conservative, I'd say, and it's still working for both of the teams. But to change it up, I'd really love to see a little bit of that extra aggressive from this GOONS ACAD team, because we have seen them play that aggressive style before.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does work. I mean, we've seen it time after time, and I would love to see it here. Now, going to find one on the long angle, pre-fire down towards the other stairs. The intel is called out that they're there. Not going to find anything. It's going to be push out from Janitor. Does he know that there is another one raiding around the corner? He does not, and Butcher going to find Flixer off the board. That's going to be a defensive win.
Playing behind the Kiba barrier, great use of utility upstairs, holding that second floor. So yeah, we're seeing the next defensive win. The GOONS ACAD team has tied this up 4-4. So we talked about the fact that that standard split actually on GOONS map picked their first in the best of 5. A little bit of a dangerous place to be, already showing why that's the case. So gonna see how they handle the first floor site, though. Open area staff. When we saw that played previously, they split it. 1 attack win, 1 defensive win on the first half of this map.
That's right. So that ties us up 4-4. Woohoo! Right? I'm telling you, now we're going to lean into the intel. This is what we were talking about a little bit earlier when we were talking about those first floor strats, is that the intel is so huge for this site specifically. So they're going to bring out the Maestro, the Valkyrie, and the mobile intel of the Mozzie, and I think this is the right call here, right? Now, we do see the Twitch on the board for the other side, so potential to take out some of that intel, but not nearly enough. Bravo going to be there to back it up.
Yeah, Brava not going to be there, but, oh, no, trading out. Yeah, making the switch. Now she is on this attacking lineup. So got Valcam's Mozzie, the potential for the hack-off between Mozzie and Brava going to happen, but a ton of this intel side from GOONS. They are just basically as much as you can bring.
Yeah, that's true. Outside of bringing out some BPs as well. And focusing on the intel denial as well, as Mute going to be brought out to help secure some of those areas, specifically try and secure those Maestro cams from getting bravoed. And we're going to see getting droned up here from the basement area. Going to take a little bit of time to get a clutch drone out, start stealing some of this intel away, specifically that camera sitting on that top square area. And Blake going to be onto the rotate.
Yeah, see whether or not they can take approaching from this attacker side, both the 2F and the basement, and a little bit of utility getting tossed in, confuse this team a little bit, make them think we're seeing the printer push in. But even though you got Brava playing behind that top blue, trying to use that utility to try and steal some of this defenders, but oh no! Wow, Lecky, knowing that somebody was playing behind the door in behind that barricade, top blue gonna take out one player. That's fire going down, and then also taking out that that Flores drone at the same time. Players and utility. Ouch. That one's a tough one there for the Zomblers. Goons taking an early lead here. Half the round gone. 4v5, so plenty of bodies both on both sides though.
Wow, Blake to answer back, however, and they're going to take the mute off the board, but his work's been done. Jammers are down. Flores going to be the next to fall as he goes down, but not confirmed, and then confirmed. Now taking us into a 4v3. Still got this critical push point here. The Warden holding on and able to hold, for the most part, both sites here. The Valkyries start to rotate back towards site. It gets a little bit of a premonition, maybe, that somebody's going to be coming up those back stairs, so they take a little extra second to look at it, check it out. Have two players, or one player that is relegated towards the cam, so plenty of those still to be in use, and they still haven't found a way to deal with the Maestro quite yet.
Yeah, that's still a lot of utility on board here, and trying to find a way. 3 players left, 30 seconds. Can we get themselves in an area to plant? You still got Scary playing downstairs in sight. Butcher also holding one of those angles. They've got themselves ready for that hatch drop and covering printer windows, so that's exactly what we think they're going to do, but I don't think that they've got the players in position yet to be able to make this work. Going to catch one as he drops. They do have diffusers, so Sibster's going to get it down. Oh, I thought he was going to get it down, but no, he goes down. Butcher takes that one and wins, and somebody said in the chat, struggling with closing out attacks here. Good defensive hold by the Goons, so we see them take another round 9 going in favor of the Goons, and they go up 4-5. Going to hit our first timeout, and to me, feels like a great call. Zomblers were feeling very good on their defensive half, and then losing 3 on their attack and putting themselves very close to that match point. Good time to take a timeout.
Yep, you'll see it utilized just like everywhere else, right? Try to slow down that momentum. That's exactly what's happening as Wildcard, or gosh, geez, I did it again. Wanted Goods Academy find themselves with 3 victories in a row after the side swap. So really sticking into that defensive posture that has been so successful here recently in this recent meta change. So yeah, slow it down, talk about it, take a second to maybe try and figure out exactly what's going on. I'm going to take another try on the attack side of it. Now, granted, we're still looking towards that 4-2 here. Yes, they've got 3 in a row, but secured up 2 for that OT spot. Not impossible, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I know we talked about the sort of struggling to close the attack, so this is exactly when Zomblers are going to need to come up with something special on the attack, get themselves set up, get this attack positioned, get it ready. They're bringing, I think, a great lineup here with the Thatcher Thermite combo. That really goes back to old school Siege, but throw in the OSA and those Talon shields. I think that's a good way to try and approach it. From the defensive side, though, going to bring out a couple C4s, and one of those changes with the Legion, bringing out those observation blockers because the impact's not in play. Speaking of changes, we haven't seen any shields. With Monty being banned, nobody going to take a chance yet on a blitz to try and make it happen. So love to see Zomblers try to make some changes. The timeout buff we talk about, roughly 75% of the time we see the team that takes the timeout win the next round. That's what Zomblers is counting on right now, try and tie this match back up.
Yep, that's right. So, going to see one of the newest changes that have happened in the Siege realm is going to be the Legion losing his impacts, and instead now going to see the rise of the potential for the observation blocker. And I love when it gets put in play, Whiskey, because it's like, you have to send either a drone in, which could get shot or taken out, especially if there's, say, like a maestro cam behind that. Ooh, Flicks are going to find the first kill onto a zombie, and that's huge because that means not very many of those Kiva barriers were actually allowed to get in and set up that trench warfare. That's a tough kill.
Yep, that one, huge one to lose. She's not going to have, hopefully she had a few of them down, but yeah, going to continually regenerate as they go. And definitely, I think she's going to be the future, some of the future balancing, I think, is still going to continue to work with Azami, because still a little bit overpowered. Still, it's a tough choice to try and decide who on defense do you want to ban out.
Yep, and so it's going to turn into that hurry up and wait scenario. It's going to be a little bit of a redirect here, and it looks like they're lining up in that server. They're going to try to open it up and get themselves set up for that OSA server plant, which has, of course, been the staple default here for quite a while on this basement area. The addition of the OSA really makes it fun, but it's the KD, I think, that makes it formidable. Give them a shield at a 10-5, and you're feeling pretty good at sending them in on the front line.
Yep, you can see those blue outlines getting themselves set up. Scary holding that position, ready with the warden to try and deflect any of those flashes that are likely going to come out and try and blind this defensive squad. But it's a 5-3 right now, so this is exactly what they needed. It's sort of the same setup, but that opening entry pick really seems like it's made the difference. A little bit of team chat going on after that shot happened, but gonna see who is gonna put up here. 5-4, and the score line 3v5. Plant comes out, gonna try and bait it, gonna take one, but Butcher gets taken down as he peeked.
Yeah, they were just waiting, lined up and ready. So it's going to be the OSA that does end up getting taken off the board, and that was part of the win conditions met, but it's put a 4v3 C4 to go out, and that's going to claim the life of Thermite, stop the plant, and take the Dokkaebi down. Now puts us into a 3v2 as the defense coming up on top again, one away from that match point scenario, and almost no way to get this Dokkaebi back up. And now the gridlock falls, and there's a grenade that's close, but it didn't actually take them out. So it is put back into that 3v2 scenario. Maybe rotate around and get it. Do have to wait on the fires of the Goyo canisters anyways, but no, not going to be the case. Just going to go for the plant. 5 seconds, you have to. Takes the shot. Finds a second.
What a shot!
To a 3v1, a 2v1. It's going to take the planter down now into a 1v1, but it's gridlocked down, so that's going to be a defensive win, and that's going to put him on that coveted match point scenario.
Oh my. Wow, a couple great shots coming out there, but unfortunately too many defenders playing downstairs in sight, covering that. I'm surprised that we saw the plant actually go down. It looked like they had a good bait strategy to pull the C4. It didn't work, though, as GOONS ACAD was able to get the C4 kill on Thermite initially, but then to get the plant down in just the nick of time and grab 2 kills off the back of some incredible DMR play there. It looked like that one came down to the wire. There's just too many of the defenders playing downstairs, though, and they overwhelmed the Zomblers. If Gridlock had not gone down upstairs, I think that was a Zomblers win.
Yeah, potential for a different scoreline, that's for sure. But here we find ourselves 6-4. As we head back up to the 2F location, you see a very similar lineup. Going to bring the Frost out to stop some of those window jump-ins, some of those critical areas, but more importantly, she brings that deployable shield to the table, which is exactly where you're going to see her putting it up outside of that stock area to try and hold on to Janitor and hold on to stock and Marble as long as possible. But other than that, it's a similar lineup. They're ready to try to put this one away.
Like the castle playing upstairs. Now, we're going to see the same. We're going to see Eli playing in that the E3 location upstairs in the elevator shaft, or maybe Butcher playing over there, still continuing to do some site setup here from the team as they're getting everything ready. Not going to play anybody downstairs in the lobby or ATMs, though, to put any pressure on the rappel. So Wondering whether or not we're going to see that jump, that run out. Are they, the Goons is up by 2. They can afford to take a few chances or just make sure that they close it out here and win it on this round.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. They're nothing risky, nothing new. Just bring the same operators that you brought because it's a situation that's worked. You're relying then on just having a little bit better timing because the gun skill is, of course, matched on both sides. The caliber of players just being insane at the top end of the Contender League. That's going to be some damage onto the Habana as now she's in a tough spot for trying to get that E3 wall open.
Yeah, that's
some of it, though.
That's exactly the angle we talked about when we were talking about this 2F location previously. That's a really, has become a difficult spot to try and get E3 open because you've got Castle playing in that front desk, in that Trump area, able to find a shot on the Habana's head, and it's really difficult for her to take that shot. Just going to have to try and hope she survives, get those pellets down before she dies. And it was really close there, just a fraction of her health left.
Yep, that's right. Did manage to get one of those mirror shields cracked, so going to open it up and give themselves a little bit of that wall peek. Oh, flicks her to find Butcher off the board, and that's going to be the body bounce tipped in favor of the Zomblers as the last 65 starts to count down, the time being the sixth man here in this scenario. Surprising, we haven't seen any of those really deep trap ops, and there's going to be Flicks to find another. Blake on to the Eli kill. It's going to be the C4 coming up to the hatch, but nothing to be found. It's going to rotate around to the marble area, come up from the backside, trying to, but it's a 5v2 Whiskey. This is a tough mountain to climb, especially when the gridlocks are slowing you down.
Oh, taking a couple... Gek losing a ton of life there to the gridlocks, but it was worth it to try and survive. Now he's the last one left. Boy, I was going to say it was worth it. He got the kill, but his health was just too low. Flixer was ready, got the plant down, able to take one. So they didn't win the round immediately after the timeout. They needed one more to send the team, have them send it upstairs to the 2F location to try and get a win. So they're going to hold off that win one more round. Got to be perfect for 1 to force OT. Zomblers 5, Goons ACAD 6. This is their first attacking win here on this half, so pressure is on, my friend.
Yeah, can they do it back-to-back to bring us to that OT scenario? Well, we're going to find out here on this next round. We're going to see that terse site, the big test here for the Goons Academy team. Last time it was heavy intel. This time it's going to be still a dedication towards, still an investment into it. But instead of the Mozzie, we are going to see the Cade. So they're going to try to hold on to these this quad wall just a little bit longer this time.
Yeah,
or maybe even the hatch plays here.
Yeah, that's a good question. Bringing out again a lot of utility for intel, so a little bit of that intel deny, but like the Maestro and seeing the way that they're getting those set up has been pretty standard as well. So Blake switching out to the Brava, really want to see one of those get stolen. So going to see the defense have to make sure that that they identify when those clutches are up and active, or maybe try and protect them with some of those. The mute jammers as well, in addition to trying to hold on to a few of these walls.
Okay, here we go. Match point scenario. Goons Academy trying to put this one away. Zomblers trying to force an OT here on map number 1. Gonna see some dedication to the vertical game here. Ram and Buck both being on the board, so look to see them getting active from above fairly quickly. We have most dedication here of the defense to that lower area.
Yeah, not a lot upstairs, leaving it open. Definitely a different way that they played it. So a change up in the strategy from the Goons, I think, and it's causing the Zomblers to have to take a lot of time upstairs, clear it out, open it. They're gonna try and clear the Cade trap using the Ram.
Interesting.
Okay, Eli downstairs, pushing up into tellers. Yep, lost that. Brava stole one of the cams, going to use those impacts to clear it off the board, make sure that it can't be used by the attackers.
Yep, no intel for you. So with a minute and a half left on the board, we're still going to see ourselves putting our in a 5-all scenario. Now this buck to get a little bit of damage, but Maestro going to be the ultimate one to pay the price as the verticality reigns supreme there. That's going to be man advantage tipped over in favor of Zomblers here, which is exactly what they need if they want to give themselves a potential for OT.
Oh, great shot there. Blake taking down Butcher. That's the Brava coming out. So it is a 5v3. Zomblers, I mean, this is a best of 5, and they do not appear to be ready to surrender Bank at all. They want to push this one. Oh no, Gek recognizes that the Kludge drone is out. Brava on that device, and a little bit of utility or intel on where he was hiding to try and take him down with the melee. Ouch, that's tough. So it's a 3v3 with 38 seconds left, my friend.
Yeah, it's going to come down to it. C4 is primed, prepped, and ready for some of that potential for above here. I'm going to swing in on this elevator area. Do they know? Do they know? They know, but he's going to lose his life anyways as the prone, pwned, and owned position comes out now into a 2v1. It's going to be the push in here from Marble area, but he's got the long angle. They start to come out. They still got cams. They still got pings.
Trigger discipline.
Oh, my Lord. That's going to do it.
What
Holy
a shot.
Man.
Oh, Lecky holding on exactly what he needed when he needed to there. Wow, I thought for a second there, we were going to see OT with Zomblers coming back, but Wanagoon's taking that one 7-5, and Scary 10-9, Gek 12 and 12. Really unbelievable from those guys. Great game between both of them.
Yep, absolutely. It's exactly what you want in a grand finals. Took it all the way down to the line, but in the end, well, you watched. Okay, folks, we're going to get set up for map number 2 here. So sit back, relax, because when we come back, we'll bring you a second map. Ayo.
Let's go.
What's up, and welcome back, fellow Siege spectators and players. We're back with map number 2 here in this best of 5 for the Contender series. I am still the Reverend Whiskey Glitter, and with me, as always, my partner and co-host, Mr. Whiskey Run. Man, what you think about map number 1?
So close to OT. We were right there. Zomblers wanted it, but Goons wanted it just a little bit more, and they closed that one out. So we finished up bank, and we are heading to border, my friend. The map is ready. It's time to go.
Let's hit it. Border, baby. One of my faves, currently number 2. You heard us talk about yesterday if you watched any of the Blitz gaming series. It is got so much variability here for the attack, right? There's so many places that it can come from, including all of the soft breach material that is the floor and the walls, making picks like Solus and any of those intel operators. Pulse just absolutely huge. Oh, speaking of those intel operators, gonna take IQ off the board and potentially a bit of a target ban, maybe trying to keep some of those Valk cams alive, or the Pulse.
That is...
Ooh.
Those have got to be
Spicy
the
thing.
most interesting bans I think we've seen. IQ and Castle? No way.
Yeah. Gonna be seeing some Pulse play, gonna be seeing some Valkyrie play, and not gonna let the cutoff happen. It'd be funny to see the zombie ban here.
That would, to me, that would honestly really create a really interesting game of Siege, and I'd love to see how that changes up the way that it's being played. But Castle going to be off the board, Valk going to be the other, so you still have got the Architect in place, but that also leaves Fenrir, Solus, and Dokkaebi, Brava. Just, boy, this is an interesting lineup, my friend.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Let's freaking go. You talked about them. Azami, Solus, and Fenrir are going to be brought out immediately. Glass refilled. Excellent. Good. Keep it full, because this can get spicy, nanos. Okay, so let's talk about it. Defense on the board. We're going to start it in 2F location, and we are going to see Azami to start building that warfare. Imagine last time we saw her utilized in that security area where it was so, yep, and there you go, where she was so impactful, right? Just really denying that west wall plant. That, of course, is that secondary default option. Bring the Mira out to help solidify and slow him down with Malusi. This is a really goated defensive lineup.
So just for a little bit of context here to build this story for you all, if you're just joining us, welcome everyone to the Outlast Contender League Season 4 Grand Final. If you were with us yesterday on the channel for the Blitz Gaming series, we got to see this GOONS ACAD roster, a few of these guys playing as part of Arrow's Basement, and they played Aerial Arise here on border. That game went to OT 8-6, and they put up a hell of a fight, and they were nearly unstoppable on the on that 1F bathroom site. So when we see that one happen, expect Goons to be very, very good. They struggled across the board on the 2F site though, so see how this one plays out. It's really fun to be able to see this same a very similar team play out against a completely different attacking team in the Zomblers. So really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, really going to see that adaptation, right? Especially with the bands that have come out. I'm so excited. Fenrir is on the board. Solus is on the board. Azami's on the board. You know, this is really going to change up how the attack team is going to be able to push this map. Now, there was some dedicated target banning out here, the IQ and the Castle. So I imagine also going to be adding to that lineup is going to be that Pulse coming out.
Yeah, I think that's definitely likely. But, oh, Blake taking... Boy, the DMR just being an important part. It's interesting. We don't have... Oh, they stole... Brava stole the Fenrir. I don't think the defense was definitely not expecting to walk into their own Fenrir trap there. It was going to swing on the player out on the balcony, but taken down by the Fenrir instead.
Yep, absolutely. Man, what a good play. That's one of our favorite things to see is the Brava gadget interactions. Now, does turn his back and put himself onto the hallway. Flashes start to come out, finds one in the back, not enough. Doesn't know that he's getting shot from the back. Now he's getting shot from the back. Puts us into a 4v1. It's all going to be resting on the shoulders of Mira, who's holding the long angle in security. Does have two members, but they're going to start rotating around as drones have now surely discovered that nobody is in sight.
Yeah, for sure. Gonna see though, Gek holding on to this location. There's one of those drones coming out, gonna clear it and holding on to that break room door. So, to see whether or not, look at this, just covering a ton of area, but there's a lot of it that's open. I feel like Gek is definitely in a bit of a dangerous position here. And yep,
Oh.
there it is. Fire taking the shot from the balcony door all the way in. Yep, could see the gun sticking out. Oh, playing the DMR as well on Brava.
Okay, there you go. That's going to be one for the attackers. Now, this is before the defensive meta switch. This is a map that we would deem attacker-sided. Kind of had a little bit of switch up. I think our standard split on this whiskey has been 3-3 for a good lot of the times that we've seen this played out.
Yeah, that's right. And we talked about the game that we saw yesterday. That one was a 3-3 split. So that's kind of where I would expect this one to go as well. Border has been, definitely attacker sided, but with the increase, the defensive meta, a lot of the utility that they're bringing out makes it a little bit easier. So that first one though goes to the attackers. Gonna see Goons ACAD go back upstairs to this 2F site. So hopefully we didn't cast or curse them here by saying this was this was the site they struggled on the most during that game yesterday.
Yep, take it back, run it back. Not a bad plan, right? Could be just a little bit of a falter. Maybe don't necessarily have the operators that you were relying upon. I'd love to see some more of that intel come out. We are going to see the big three. We're going to see them switched up on who plays them, however. So it is going to be running it back, just a little bit of different personnel on who's going to be doing that.
Yep, I like the change up here, bringing out the Lion to try and help give the Zomblers a little bit of intel on where all of the Goons ACAD team is playing. But since they won, they have to watch out for how is the Goons going to adapt to defending this site differently. So having the Solus on the board, I think, is definitely going to help clear out some of the utility. You got Eli playing down below. Butcher and Scary playing very close in that south balcony door. And Fire going to take another one with that DMR.
In a similar position, right? It was the zombie last time on the window. This time instead it's going to be, there's going to be the Bravo goes down as the zombie going to find herself on the run out. Had plenty of people there to help defend it, but everybody caught lacking. So the push up, they're going to start to put some pressure onto this zombie, or at least try to. Takes a shot as he rotates downwards.
That Fenrir being the difference the last time, right? That's exactly the play that we saw, the run out on that south balk. But when the Fenrir was there preventing the defense from making that play, this time was not stolen. Brava went down before she could get that utility out and stolen. So made that one a little bit easier for the defenders to play, and they took advantage of it, though. We are tied up 4-4, half the round gone. Okay, we just ended up saying it. 4-3. Gek taking a couple shots out onto that east balk, south balk stairway.
Okay, and there's another to fall. As we're going to see the Fenrir go down, so wherever those gadgets are, they're going to stay. It's going to be the rotate back inside as Eli on that P90, going to look to try to be a force here in this 4v2, but it's a strong push starting to come in, and there is the P90 that finds one, and look at this. The rotate that's going to be huge. They have no clue. Going to find a double. Huge. Puts them into a 1v2 situation just like that. Now it's all going to be relying on the devastation of the DMR, but with the rotate here, might not be looking in the right spot to catch it out.
No, going to where Gek was, not where he will be. Rotated himself back into that office area and holding, and going to have to take a double look. That cross set up. Gek going to finish it off, though. Feels like the symmetry he needed after having that crazy good flank rotating through the wall. Definitely feels like we're seeing sort of this we've talked about it, the rise of the DMR. The Siege comp players are getting so good playing with the DMR that it's across the board, right? I don't think looking back on year 8, we didn't see nearly the amount of DMRs being played across a variety of different operators, right? There was a couple that you almost always did, but for sure that pick rate on ops that have it and the operators that have the choice picking it.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they
Yep.
can.
So we are going to see that site that you were talking about. It's Bathroom Tellers. They had almost the game that we were watching yesterday with a few players. Had almost 100% win rate on this, right? You said across the board. That's both attack and defense.
Yeah, that's right. Attack and defense, unstoppable here.
Attackers have
So
located a bomb.
it's a little bit of a different lineup. I think we had three of the 5 playing in that game. So now a little bit of a change up. Zomblers. That's ancient history to them. They're looking to figure out a way to win here. So it is a best of 5. That first map, if you're just joining us, went to Goons 7-5 on Bank. So looking for who is going to take map 2, or Zomblers going to tie it up. The Goons ACAD going to go up in a 2-0 lead here in this best of 5.
Got 4 drones on that pre-round play. Huge effective use of that Solus intel. Really taking away the movability and the opportunity here for the attacking team. Now we are going to see the highlight pick and be the Monty being brought out, so a little bit of a switch up maybe than the normal bathroom strat that they're used to. Floor is going to start to force that Azami down, try to dislodge the position, maybe put her in harm's way to get a cross setup, of course. Now this is a similar thing that we keep seeing. It's going to be 1 on the left side of the door, 2 attacking that eastbound stairs. So predictability might become a little bit of an issue here.
Yeah, and bringing out the Monty to try and make that force scary outs. Exactly what happened. Azami rotates herself completely down. They've got that south balcony control now. Blixer holding onto the door, and Fire making that push in. So they were definitely concentrated on this southwest side of the map, and they have got most of the control. They still have got 1 defender. Still got Kaid playing back there in office, and pulling out the handgun when you've got, I think he's got the shotty available.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Oh,
Interesting
yeah.
choice of weapons there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can't fault them. That to the practiced hand, that pistol is absolutely devastating. But it is a weird thing to go for that over the shotgun, who can shoot just as far. So look at that. It's 5-all, and they're just going to start getting the plant to go down. That's going to take it to 75, and they're going to stick it. We're going to see a post-plant scenario in a 5-all, and the attack or the defense is just left wondering what in the world just happened. Now it's going to be the trade out, as we're going to see a zombie go down. It's going to be the ace next to follow, but Lucy going to be on that trail of death as well. Monty just sitting back, hanging out on the diffuser. Now it is the C4, does bounce off of the Monty, doesn't get anything. It's going to be the triple kill now, as it's going to be all...
Oh,
geez!
the knife!
The knife again.
But Fire gonna make the rotate through the window and able to take that one. What the trades ringing out there after the post plant was just insane, making the Observer work for her money. Absolutely going crazy there. But that is one out of all of the Bathroom Teller site that we saw played yesterday, which I believe was 5 different times. Didn't see that a single time. The wall unreinforced and open, and using a Flores drone to open it. Monty walking in and planting on the back of it, while basically the defending team completely unaware, potentially expecting the workshop side or the hatch drop through office, which is definitely the typical approach to how that site is played. Zomblers brought out a great strategy that I really don't feel like we have seen in recent memory.
Yeah, I don't know that we have either. Yeah, especially on the 5-5 plant. Just walk in, put the Monty in place, hold the line, and that's exactly what they did. And defense caught completely unaware. Going to see an attack win. That was a great play. I love this map. I love this game. It's always changing. That is one of the reasons what we love Border, is because there's so much variety that you can bring to the attack side. There's so much variety you can bring to the defensive side, and it's just going to keep us guessing.
And the one caveat I'll put on that, though, was if If you got to cast 5 2v2 maps in a row on border, then it can get a little repetitive. But here,
That's true.
Zomblers have absolutely they brought out something special there. That was a fun round, and they put themselves up 2-1. So now Wanagoon's going to go back, play their site that typically they've got the most success on, and we're seeing this same stack up. 4 players in the southwest corner of the map, backed up by the or really led by the Monty as they're coming in. So they've got the Azami still playing upstairs on that wall and taking shots, knocking down the Kiba barrier with bullets. We don't typically see that happen just because of how many it takes, but that was using the DMR, maybe the one weapon that it really makes sense to try and clear it out.
You know, I was saying earlier that the problem, the potential problem with pushing the same direction every time is you become a little predictable, and there's a way to combat it and change it. But I mean, it's working. So I guess that's not the case. Just send it every single time, put overwhelming force onto the players, push them out of that position. Look, now they're not going to let them do that sort of thing again, though.
Look at that. Okay, so they brought along the impact EMPs. That was the one thing that they needed, reinforced with the Cade Claw. So now though they've got it open, and it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Monty to make the push in with the Ace, because you're going to have to try and get that wall open big enough for him to be able to get through and have a little bit of room to rotate and try and protect it. So Monty making the push up, you can see, holding the long angle, scary there from all the way in that customs area.
Yep, and that's going to be the first trade there, as we're going to see the Dokkaebi get taken off the board. Sitting at that 5-2, so having a particularly good game. It is the Mute holding back from the long distance as the pre-fires are coming through. They know somebody's over. They can't quite pin it down where it's at. So it is going to be a shield. Have to retract the shield. Oh! To drop down the fire through flicks. Are going to find one onto the Mute.
He
Boy, that'd be the name of the game.
Looked at the door and turned at the last second, and unfortunately gets shot in the back. Had the instinct that something was going to happen, but just turned a little bit too quick. And there was the Monty pushing in through the electricity, getting ready to put the plant down. But good angle held there by the defense to take him down sideways.
Okay, and that's going to be fire to take. Oh, man, that's unfortunate. Now puts it into a 3v1 post-plant scenario yet again, as they're being very objective. Face the long angle, but she's going to run, and she's going to die as the cross was set up to take them out. You broke a rule number 1. You're going to pay the price for it.
Well, yeah, unfortunate. Trying to make the rotate into workshop instead of back into customs may have saved her life if she had made that rotate and had been on a little bit of a roll, feeling pretty good, taking down 2 of the defenders there, or 2 of the attackers, but making the choice, unfortunately, to change the rotation. So Zomblers take that one, and boy, everything we said about the bathroom tellers not coming true, unfortunately. So Goons ACAD going to change up the strategy completely rather than the way they're going to play that site and head back upstairs now that they can to the 2F.
Locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Okay, yeah. Gonna have to see 2 out of the defense here if we want to see what we have started to consider that standard split. Not seeing the Fenrir brought every round, and that is surprising, especially with the Monty being brought out, right? He's definitely great at slowing down that attack, especially if you can't see. Legion potentially being, utilized. Not seeing some of those standard Monty operators, even though we're bringing them to the table multiple times. Now, of course, you're not going to see it on the 2F if they're not bringing them along.
5 seconds left.
Although I don't know why you wouldn't, right? I love an East plant.
Yeah, East Plant is definitely one of the oldest plants, from a border perspective. That's the first one you learn playing ranked. So, but the question is it old school enough that would allow them to sort of surprise this defense? They've got nobody playing back there on site. They're all holding the south balk because that's where the Zomblers have been pushing from. So good adaptation here from Goons Academy, playing to the way that the Zomblers was trying to attack the map in general, and it seems like they're hopefully going to hold on a little bit tighter here. Good IGL though, if they can detect that nobody's playing over on East, could make a quick rotate over and maybe surprise this Wana Goons team.
And look at this, just pushing in. A couple of pre-fires that are ringing out, but nobody there this time to answer that call. As Azami not going to be put into that same position to try and push out. Instead, going to be holding on to the hallway area in the 90-degree. Ooh, and another rule broken. Almost paid the price for the hubris. Butcher escaping with his life, but just barely.
I mean, he had to run across the hallway there to try and survive, make it across, but yeah, broke that rule 1, and another DMR kill gonna come out, and unfortunate.
You see the trade happen there. Is the Brava also going to go down? So taking us into a 4-4 as we get tied up here on the body balance. A couple of mirrors in play, holding on for the long distance. I like the hold into 90 here. Hold off on that fountain area. Doesn't put very much pressure on the site, but it takes away the chance to come in from that back area. It's not a bad play. Going to see a little bit of damage done onto the Ash and to the Lion as we find ourselves still sitting in a 4-4, 60 seconds left on the board.
I like this hold. It's not typical to see the Mira in the hallway there, in that 90 looking into office. It feels like it's an exposed position, unfortunately, but you know, right now, Azami doing a great job of holding it. Gonna see the ace try and open up that sight line in. Still, you can see a little bit of the Zomblers have had a small rotation there over to the east side, but Eli gonna take down Flixer, Aleki gonna take down Zen, and right now, DMR, battle of the DMRs to finish it out. Aleki gonna win that one though, as it looked like maybe was gonna take a couple extra shots.
Yeesh. Okay, so that gets us one closer to the score line here, Whiskey. Taking us into that 3-2 area. And there we are. We are going to see the first floor site being brought back out, obviously, because the defense wins this one out. And we're going to see some operators dedicated to slowing down the Monty. Legion and Capcan going to come on board with the addition of the Malusi, help support each other on the trap ops. I think this is a good adaptation by the defense.
Yeah, well, good adaptation and won some very critical gunfights upstairs in the 2F site, put them up, but yeah, like you called it out, we haven't seen the Capcan. I don't think he's been brought out at all here on defense, so the first time we're going to see him that last round, hoping to surprise the Zomblers as they make that push in, covering a couple different areas of this upstairs, pretty far away from site. Hoping they might catch, and again, focused on that South Balk side because that's where we've seen Zomblers almost exclusively start their push from most of their attacking rounds. So there's definitely a lot of focus upstairs, though, directly above the bomb site. Hold similar to the way you would in the 2F site, but a lot of time spent opening up this floor. So as long as the defense can hold on, those vertical holes going to prevent the attackers from getting that play from downstairs, keep putting all that vertical pressure down, but if they lose it, floor is already open for the attackers. Make it a little bit easier to cover the plant if they can make that work.
Yeah, it looks like we're not going to see any use of the observation blockers just yet. Oh, there we go. Now starting to get those out. I was going to say, let's not waste any utility here, especially those observation blockers, because they could be so huge. That is for sure. But look at this. New operator Deimos on the board. That pistol just being absolutely insane. If you're new to Siege or you're new to this season, Deimos is our newest operator, really relying on the intel of these little tiny drones to suss out your exact location, including telling you what floor, what room that they are actually standing in. So the pinch potential going to be absolutely huge.
Yeah, taking a couple shots. I like that from the Zombler side, they brought out the Deimos here as the adaptation. Oh, look at the shot, holding on to this angle. Almost saw the attackers push in right into the waiting arms of Legion, but gonna ping him out, playing downstairs. Good shot there. Eli now in that location. Hopefully, now I know you've said it before, but for those of you that don't know, for Deimos, his position is revealed on the map to the defenders, and he has to communicate the location of the person he's targeted, although he knows directly. Has to be able to communicate that. He's going to go down, though. No opportunity to use any more of those special drones. Going to continue to see this hold upstairs, though, from Goons ACAD. And there's just a minute left. 5v3 looking very good to tie this up with a 3-3 half.
Yeah, no kidding. Becoming the standard. Okay, so it is going to be Ace looking at side. He can see it. It's within his grasp, but he feels the trap. He knows that something is not quite right. So Osa going to start to push in. Does get the ping come out that somebody's sitting in that customs area, starting to push up. It is going to be the Capcan, so they do, of course, know that he's on the board. Still haven't seen any Capcan kills just yet, and that's going to be Solus taking a bunch of damage, but the P90 to find one, and this is looking exactly like it's going to turn into a 3-3 split.
Yeah, Yen is in a tough position here as he's looking up, but he's got one of the defenders down. Gek going to find that final one there to win it for the Goons ACAD team. They take their third on defense, and we see that 3-3 split. So now we see how is ZOMBLERS going to hold on. This was their map pick. So, again, if you're just joining us, we're in a best of 5. Goons ACAD took that first map on bank 7-5. Potentially have 4 more maps to go, including this one. So this is the ZOMBLERS map pick. Assume that they're feeling very confident on the defensive side of this one.
Yep, absolutely. And if we see, them take 1 map apiece, then we're all guaranteeing ourselves at least a 4th map because got to hit that coveted 3 mark. So starting out in a similar fashion on the side of ZOMBLERS, as we are going to see that 2F starter location, the primary site being up top. That is going to be the play for most people here. And because of who is available, this is 4 of the top 5 that we've counted defenders going to be utilized right now. Solus, Azami, Fenrir, and Mira going to be on the board. And without even seeing any of the site setup, I can tell you right now that this is going to be an absolutely disgusting bomb site.
Vamos, he says in the chat. Let's go. So, yeah, this one, for ZOMBLERS as their first opportunity to take it. Almost always we see teams go upstairs for the 2F site, playing the bandit here to try and hold on to those site walls, and along with also protecting the mirror window. And the interesting one that we saw was putting the Aruni gate on the outside. She's not on the board, but I'm wondering whether or not that's a strategy that we'll see a little bit more often. Had not seen that in competitive play very much. And I'm still like looking back at the bands, wondering how the IQ and Castle were sort of factoring into the way that the teams are playing this round out.
Yeah. Well, the IQ, I think, was a huge play. I think the Castle also huge. Definitely utilized when bringing that, playing that first floor site where you want to really dig in and hold on to that 2F area. Now it's going to be the pitch starting to happen on a Flixer as the, as the Rotero drone's going to start to push. Is that the shotgun?
Yes.
Oh, my lord.
Yes.
Yeah.
Running the Azami Shadi, but not realizing that Gek had made the push in there to security into CC. So tried to take a couple shots on that south back door. Gonna take a shot from across the hallway there from the main site breach using that mirror. Great job there by Blake to realize that they had players over on the other side of the map. But yeah, just not realizing that hold had already been pushed out and was open. Gonna see Gek try and make his way in. They're going to realize that they've got the bandits in place, and they're going to need... they don't have any EMPs on the board. They're going to have to rely on the Twitch, but she's got no drones left.
Yep, and that's going to be...
It's going to stay locked up.
Yep, going to stay locked up. Now, of course, they did have 1 clutch as well. You could get in there and potentially take it, but it's going to be a tough climb, that's for sure. And it's all going to be on the shoulders of Solus, who is sitting in that 5-4 KD. And Plant's starting to go down, but it's going to be from the long distance. Is he able to catch it? Is he able?
Wow.
He is able. Going to stop the Plant from going down, and now has the diffuser in a good spot, or had the diffuser in a good spot. Plant going down on another direction. The cross set up. Not much to do here now in this 1v3. This is a tough spot, and you can see him getting incredibly active, peeking everywhere, but all be for naught.
It was almost like he accidentally clicked at the DPI button on his mouse to change it to that high DPI with how much that was spinning around there. So Wanagoon's ACAD taking theirs on attack. Yeah, I mean, great angle held from below there from Solus, but unfortunate that Zomblers were not able to hold on to that 2F defense. They're going to take it back downstairs to Bathroom Tellers, and man, I feel like we definitely cast or cursed him here with saying the Wanagoons were unstoppable on that site. The 2 times it was played in the first half of this game, the Zomblers won it. So we'll see if they can hold it on defense now.
And there is the pulse coming out. That's exactly why that IQ was banned out. So he can be able to play in that customs area, potentially take somebody who's pushing into that security, which is going to be one of those critical push points to taking that top floor control before pushing in and getting some of that directly over site control. Going to get the mute out, can stop some of that intel. Not going to opt for any of those operators this time. No Solus, no Fenrir, no Azami. They're going back to their practice strat. This is one they've run before.
Yep. Yeah, we talked about this being Zombler's map pick. So this is the one that they're definitely expecting to win. And, you know, map bans feel like they were such a long time ago, but we've got CHALET coming up next as Wanagoon's next pick. And we know that the Wanagoon's very good on that map. So this one feels like a very important one, both from a just a technicality perspective that you don't want to see Wanagoons up go 2 maps to 3, but the fact that you're rolling into CHALET for that next, I think is going to make that an even more, from a mental perspective, a more important map win here for Zomblers. And Gek going to take down Flixer. That is a tough one to lose to start off with. He's having definitely a worse game here on Border than he did on Bank. Flixer was MVP rolling out of the or close to the top of leaderboard on Bank.
Yeah, Gek being the standout highlight here on the ace and sitting at that 11-5 on the KD. No way. The grenade to ring out, taking Yen off the board. That's a tough call, and that's going to be the devastation of the DMR. Absolutely gone. That's tough when you die to a grenade here after the change.
Oh, it just feels like it's crazy. We are never seeing grenade kills anymore. They used to be such an important part of Siege, and it is just not happening. But what is happening is Sibster going crazy down here in Passport. Got the C4 in place, grabbed the 2, and boy, he is all over. He's all over the place as well, just going crazy, trying to find where this attack is pushing from. And the hot drop Butcher making the drop in. Sibster gonna grab another. Dude, the man is unstoppable right now.
Even takes on some tracks and comes out on the other side of it. Now puts us into a 3v1, as it's going to be all resting on the shoulders of Scary, who we've seen in this 1vx situation before. We've seen him clutch up, but on this first floor with the verticality still being potentially had here, this is a tough climb back. Now he does get taken out or spotted onto the drone, and he's going to go try to get some of that verticality himself.
Yeah, those he's got no more of the EE1D to try and prevent the attackers from moving, but the beeper's giving his position away. Fire expecting the drop, opening up those feet holes so we could see exactly when that happened, and the SAS Shoddy M590 coming out and cleaning that round up. So 4-4, all tied back up, my friend.
Okay, we're just going to see it going back and forth, a real war of attrition here, Whiskey. Neither side really willing to give any sort of space, any sort of movement in the scoreboard. I'm here for it. This looking at our potential for some OT this round. Going to see that vent workshop area next, and I believe, is that Pulse on the board yet again?
Right now, it's just a blue screen, but there it is. Yeah, Pulse. Yep. Sibwe bringing out the Pulse again and playing in that passport area. So it's going to be a point of contention that potentially we're going to see the Wanted Goons now address, try and go for. Going to bring out the Dokkaebi Eli potentially. We're going to see whether or not that changes out, but I feel like we absolutely cursed this team as far as the bathroom site goes. That's the third time it was played on both sides. Zomblers winning it all three. I thought for sure that that was going to be an important stat rolling into this map, but right now Zomblers have got their number here, and this was their map pick, so expecting that they would be able to take a couple of these sites on both sides of the map. But 4-4 all tied up. Got very, very close to OT on that last map, 7-5. So, gonna see whether or not we hit it here on map 2.
Yep. Well, let's get it. And so, Monty going to be back on the board. I love the call. Don't get to see him utilized a ton, except for that 2F location, so I'm here for it. But yeah, you're right. This is going to be an interesting round, that's for sure. Okay, so starting to push in, taking that east stairwell. Right, going to start pushing in towards that verticality. Would have loved to maybe see some extra traps being brought out. And I mean, you can't know that the Monty is coming, but you do know that the 2F is going to be a spot of contention for sure. So you see Scary start to open it up as he puts himself onto the ace this time.
Yep, good trade out there. And Gek bringing, I know you mentioned the Monty earlier, but love to see how exactly they're going to try and make this push in. I was wondering whether or not they were going to go for a bit of that quick plant downstairs. We got a lot of defensive utilities set up upstairs, holding on to that 2F location above. It looked like Blake was the lone defender playing downstairs. And this is a very, very spread out attack, right? You can see the orange outlines all the way across the map spread out, and making it a little bit difficult here for the defenders to try to pin down. So I'm going to see whether or not GOONS ACAD is able to isolate and pick off some of these defenders one by one.
Yep, looking for the slightest change in color to take that shot. Holding onto the pixel for his dear life. In a great power position, too. Able to take both the top of metal and the push in from fountain area. But it's going to be the Monty that's going to start to make that push. And he gets him!
Wow, yep, you just talked about it, being in that power position, not able to hold down the defenders, so that is going to be the Monty going down. Hopefully that wasn't a super important part of this attacking lineup, because right now they're going to be down the shield, down to the mountain, but it's a 3v4, one other kill going in their favor, so still got fire again and Flicks are on the board. They're going to take a shot. All breachable wall, none of that reinforced though, so Scary able to clean that one up.
Yep, and that's going to put us into a 3v2 situation. 3v1 as Flexer goes down, but it's going to be the double to bring out as they both get taken down off the board. Gridlock to finish that one up from the long distance. Holy cow.
Oh, okay. Head into round 10. Wanted Goons taking that one on attack. So they've won 2 of their attacking rounds so far. Zomblers, similar to the last map, they're going to take a timeout here on round 10. And seems like a good call. They were unsuccessful on the timeout buff on Bank. They did not win the round immediately following the timeout. They did take one after round 11. Ultimately was not enough to hold on to that map. So this case, they've lost 2 of their defenses, only won 1, and that's that bathroom teller site. So now can't go back yet. They're gonna have to go to the 2F or that vent workshop. It's unlikely we'd see customs unless maybe there's gonna be the pocket strap brought out here when it matters. This last opportunity for them to try and hold on before we head to Chalet.
Yeah, good call. Good call. Okay, 6 seconds left in the timeout. They have had their chance to speak. Now let us back into the gameplay. Already got a pick on the board before the timeout went down. It was going to be the Monty making his face known again. On the defensive side of it, there it is. can't do all 5 because the Valkyrie was banned out. But for this 2F hold, this is the exact same setup that we've seen before, and it was a very tough hold to get through.
Yeah, we saw it from a 2F perspective. We saw Goons on. It's been played 4 times tonight,
Attackers need to
and
locate
Goons have won 3 of it. So this is hopefully Zomblers have talked about, identified the reasons that they lost, and now they're going to change up the strategy a little bit. Maybe not in the operators, because you mentioned it's a similar setup, but in the playstyle or the way that they approach.
Yeah. Speaking of approach, it's going to be a couple of picks changing on the attacking side of it. So we are going to see a couple of drone players come out, the Brava and the Twitch, which we have seen pretty regularly here on Border, not just in this map, but in general, right? Bringing out that double, because there's a lot of utility to be taken here. The extension is absolutely huge. When you play 2F, you play all of 2F. And so getting rid of that extension utility, and I said 2 drones, I meant 3. Flora is going to be on the board as well.
Oh yeah, wow! Bringing out the intel extension here on the attack, try and clear off. You're absolutely right. And a lot of the maps you see, like Chalet, where you sort of segment off the map and really focus on only half, be it the vertical and first floor site when it happens. But here on Border, because the map's a little bit smaller, the defense has got to spend a lot of resources keeping the entire thing covered. That's Flixer to take the first, playing on that south balk on the inside. A little bit of coverage there from Yen. Gonna see the Flores try and push him out of position, but he's continuing to just be a menace. Those Kiba barriers have just been a game changer in the game of Siege. Gonna see whether or not Ubisoft continues some of those balancing changes. I still feel like it's coming.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. So it's going to be running back to that nearest mirror window. Takes a little bit of damage, but nothing to really be concerned about. Fire to take Scary off the board, and this is looking like we're about to get equalized here as we find ourselves in a 4v2. The Fenrir's start to go off. He's going to look to see where the heck that thing's at, because he doesn't want to get hit with it on the course the way back out should he start to get that direction. It's a 2v4. This is such a tough position to find yourself in as an attacker, especially when they're really dug in so hard with these mirrors.
Yeah, those mirrors being the critical points of defensive utility here. Going to make the push up the stairs. Going to win one. Sibwe finding that one. That's Gek off the board. It is all down to Eli. Seen him go crazy, but this hasn't been his map. 5, 7, and 5. Tons of support play. Gonna take down one. Bump those numbers up a little bit, but he's still got three defenders to deal with. We saw that C4 as well played yesterday on the bottom of those east stairs. Really, as you're pushing up those stairs, potential to take him out, but I think that was Valk C4. Not going to work as Fenrir able to claim that one in the office. Again, boy, Fenrir on the board. He's played. That was part of it right there.
Well, not going to be Valk C4. She's banned out. That's for sure. Okay, so 5-5. We get tied up here. This is getting exactly like what we saw on the last map. Kind of all pushing together. On both sides of the board. So this time when we see the bathroom teller site, we are going to see a little bit leaning into that denial as both Mute and Soul is going to be utilized here. And it makes sense, right? Those drones have been such a pivotal part of these attack rounds. Get them off the board early. Not a bad play.
So now, the stat being completely flipped, Zomblers have been unstoppable on the bathroom teller site. They have won every time that it's been played here. So got the potential to push them to that match point scenario if they can win this one for the first time here on their map pick. It is map number 2 of this best of 5. So what do the Goons need to do to try and win bathroom tellers here? What was the strategy that they had been employing previously? Zomblers have been absolutely shutting it down like crazy.
I don't know what it was specifically that they brought out that was working so well. Could be that it was a different lineup. Maybe a different strat that's employed. Nonetheless, we're going to see that bathroom teller site being utilized again on the attack side, lean into the intel with line on the board, really try to freeze those defensive players in their place, especially on the push up. You can see him getting aggressive very early. He's going to put himself on the roof, get a drone in place, and start to actually give a ton of different intel for his team.
Yeah, that's right. Bringing out, so now this time leaning into just Flores as the only intel operator there on the attacking side, along with the Lion, but from a drone perspective, got those two. So gonna see Gek starting to use that. Gonna see, no way, not gonna see another nade kill by just tossing it in the middle of sight. That would have been crazy to see.
We've seen it one time before where it's worked, and it was the longest grenade kill we've ever, I think, seen in our lives.
Attackers have dropped.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, red means it's dangerous. Get away from that Flores drone. It is going to be Gridlock that gets taken down. Not going to be confirmed, but Buck going to be the next to fall there as the defense going to find themselves 2 in a row. Gridlock does get picked back up. It's going to be the Souls. No, yep, the Souls the next to fall as we find ourselves. Ooh, what a shot. Butcher finally getting taken back down. Puts us into a 4v2, a familiar scenario here.
Boy, just really struggling here from the defensive perspective, or from the attacking perspective. We talked about on Bank that we were seeing the attackers have some difficulty closing out. This time, I don't feel like we're seeing them get nearly as close. We're not seeing like the plants, the last second kind of gun battles. It's like when each team gets a little bit of momentum going in their favor, that has just been it. The overwhelming tide of each of these has just been keeping them from keeping the team that is lost some of those opening picks just cannot get any momentum going. So Zomblers find themselves on match point. And I was really expecting we were going to see the Goons ACAD push up there, but that's another Bathroom Tellers win for them. Completely unstoppable. That's crazy. We've seen this flip back and forth like that.
Yep, I love it. It's exactly what you'd hope for in a grand finals, Whiskey. Right? This is living up to the hype for the Contender League. And if you're just joining us, that's exactly where we're at. This is the Contender League, or the Outlast Contender League Grand Finals. This is a best of 5. We are in map number 2 with Goons ACAD taking map number 1. So Zomblers need this to force themselves at least into that map 4 scenario. Because like I said earlier, you got to win 3.
That's right, and these teams fighting for money directly, right? They both have got the option to play for promotion into the Outlast Classic Series. That is the big T3 tournament with the $3,000 prize pool. Tonight, however, playing for first place gets 300, second place gets 150. So 150 on the line on this game specifically, or on this series specifically, to see who wins it and gets the seeding for who is going to play which team in those promotion relegation matches. So definitely check out Outlast if you have a team that wants to play. Got 3 different leagues, and everybody as part of their quals gets a chance to play in a league as seeded. So Zomblers and Goons ACAD found their way through the qualifiers, the Swiss stage, now in the playoffs, making it to the grand final. The money is on the line.
Wow, easy. Easy, just walks right in and takes one. Left the intel saying that it's not worth it to go get it. Just get the kill, get out of there, take the body bounce. But it does get traded out. Fire going to take Butcher off the board. Now puts us into a 4-4, a 3-4 as they're looking to tie it up. Whiskey, Goons Academy looking to force this into OT, but they've got to be perfect for one. And it's starting to look exactly that way as now it's all resting on the shoulders of Sipster and Yen, who find themselves kind of spread out from where site actually was. Well, now they've rotated back into site, both, but one is in site ready to take on that gun battle, and they've got the intel on where they are at. Sipster in site, gonna find one. What a flick.
What a crazy play there from Twitch. He had the drone on the ground looking directly up. The defender goes to shoot it, but Twitch was ready to refrag the drone. Great distraction there. Exactly what they needed to push this one into OT. Gonna see Goons taking that. We see another 3-3 half. go into OT. So, boy, that's between yesterday and today. That's 4 3-3 halves on Border in a row. So, this one came very close. So, Goons Academy looking for redemption here on Border versus their game yesterday. Zomblers looking to take their first map in this best of 5 series to make sure they can at least force a map 4 and not have it all be on the line as we head to Chalet next. So, and that's where we're going next, Chalet for map 3. So I hope you guys, everyone, stick around to see how this one finishes out, because neither of these teams are ready to give up. Not an inch, not a round. We head into overtime.
That's right, baby. We love us some OT here on the Siege Double Shot, and that's going to be our first instance of it. 6-6, we're tied up here on map number 2. And so, we're going to see that 2F site again, and they're going to bring out the same lineup again. So no adaptation here by the side of the Zomblers. What is it, worked twice and failed twice?
Oh, let's see.
Okay.
2F had been back and forth. Yep.
Okay, so hoping to catch one in their favor. Zomblers going to stick to their roots and run the strat back. So it's going to be a mostly going to be taken from that. Oh, look at this, from this south side take. Already getting active. A zombie going to push up. Could potentially see this first gun battle yet again. She doesn't have the shotgun this time.
Yeah, probably a good call. I think that AR more of a devastating weapon, but Scary gonna get that early pick, losing the Azami and a double to take down Yen. Azami and Fenrir, that is a ton of defensive utility that it's off the board to start with so early in this match. No changing of the Fenrirs, no redirecting as we see where the execute is going to happen. No additional Kibas going up. That is a huge boost for this Goons ACAD as they're playing on attack here to try and finish out OT and get a little bit of an advantage. Fire playing behind the mirror window back in office, so got to find a way to slow this Goons attacking team down, because right now they're going crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. And with the body bounce tipped in their favor, it starts to collapse onto the site, and that's going to be the pinch onto the Mira. That's going to take her down now, putting us into a 4v2. Ace does get taken down, but the trade going to come out. Is Bandit going to be the next to fall? They are going to take the Ash down next, and that's going to be one in favor of Wanted Goons Academy as they now find themselves on a match point scenario in OT.
Round 14. Oh, man. Overtime match point. Now we're at that point. Once again, Goons looking for that redemption round, and I can't believe we're going to 2F. Boy, this one has been the back and forth. So we have seen when Goons were playing on defense, we saw the Zomblers win it to start off with. Then Goons won it twice in a row afterwards, or the next 2 times it got played. So hopefully this is it. They found the winning strategy that has thwarted the Zomblers' attack. And this is how they're going to close out the map. But if you're a Zomblers fan, you know you won this site already once. So you've got a little bit, you got a knowledge of how they play it. You can see them win it. We're going to see whether or not they're going to use that Mira strat holding the hallway. Love to see that come out again, because that was an interesting take on the standard 2F hold for Border.
Yeah, I liked it too. So the defense going to see a new character being brought to the table. Is Vigil going to be introduced? And like the call here, right? Really dedicate himself to
10 seconds left before insertion.
potentially finding somebody on the flank, but he's just sitting in sight there for a moment. On the other side of it, on the attack side of it, it's an operators that we've seen before. Monty going to be on the board as they're going to attempt to take that space by force. The shield push being one of that critical new parts of.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. Yeah, some aggression early.
Attackers bomb
That I'd love to see, right? We talked about that a little bit on Bank about which of the teams was going to play very aggressive on defense. Thought maybe Juan and Goons were going to play that style, play a little bit extra aggressive when they were up. But, I mean, you're on overtime match points. You're going to have to go back to attack if you lose this one. So, got to have a good balance between that aggressiveness on defense and holding back because you want to win. You are on the match point and you want to drive the nail in the coffin for the Zomblers team. But they're opening up those sights upstairs and got the gridlock in place. Gek, though, looking for this flank from down below, but that sounded like a drone really close.
Yeah, it did. Oh, speaking of drone being really close, I imagine that was off the back of some intel. That is going to be the Azami to go down, and the one of the frag leaders on the side of the defense. 13 and 10, they were sitting 14 and 9, and this is going to be the Zomblers looking to tie it back up on the side of the attack. But it does get traded out as Butcher going to find one onto the Ash. 15 and 11, but that's the plant starting to go down. C4
no!
rings out. Oh, shot it out of the air, which means the plant's going to go down now into a 4v1. It's all resting on the shoulders of Mute, who is stuck in the fountain area. Does have a C4 to try to deal with this Monty.
No, that was unfortunate. The C4 got caught on the door frame. Oh, I don't know whether or not they had that pre-visualization turned on. I know there's a lot of comp players that don't enjoy having that turned on, but it got caught, unfortunately, on the door frame. That would have denied the plant there. And Goons losing that one. Zomblers taking it. And we have taken ourselves... We are going to double overtime, my friend, and can't believe it. Bathroom Teller is going to be the place. I guess if you're the Zomblers, this is where you go. It has been the Achilles heel of this ACAD team to this entire match. So it is all coming down to this. No more opportunities. The last round, the double OT. Zomblers going to find their way to equalize the map count, or is Goons ACAD going to go up 2-0 in this best of 5?
Oh, man, let's see it. The 1v1 showdown at the end of it. I want it, Whiskey. Let's check it off the books today. On the defense, going to bring out a new operator. As Fire going to bring out the Thorn. We love the Thorn gadget, right? It's a sound cue. It's lethal. And... you know what? It just looks cool. Seen some cool adaptations where they're putting them into the floor, and especially ones that are happening from above. I look to see where these unique gadgets are going to be placed at.
Yeah, that's right. Utility has definitely been almost. It almost feels like a little bit of not the important part of this this game so far. I mean, it has been the gunplay on both sides of the map has really been the driving factor, right? There's definitely some siege games where you watch from a strategy, from a utility perspective, teams that play it very well, very consistently, and use the utility to their favor. And aside from some of the Azami and Fenrirs, this has been a very point and click kind of a match.
That's right. I think we have 6 players sitting in that double-digit kills right now. 3 on each side of the team. So when we take it all the way to double overtime, yeah, it's going to be Frag City, baby. First minute starting to wind down. It's the drones doing their drones doing their drone work. Oh, jeez. Starting to suss out where the heck these defensive players are, specifically trying to get that pulse off the board. Oh, Fenrir going to take the rest of the damage. He's going to get taken down. And hello, what?
I was going to say,
Rough.
Busher had been sitting at that 3K mark, just sitting down a little bit low in the kill count, but not only does he go crazy upstairs, he's able to clear off a ton of utility as well and grab a double to go with it. So now it's a 2v5. The Zomblers, Flixer and Blake, have got to find a way to get crazy right now and win. They've got to hold on to what has been their Achilles heel for this Goons team, but no, he's going to go for the knife!
Oh.
Eli, unstoppable, runs right up. I know you talk about punching the biggest guy in the face, but he did it melee style. Goons ACAD taking that one 8-7 in double OT.
Sheesh, okay. Huge plays coming out there as Yowza. What a round. Okay. Well, folks, that's going to be map number 2. Done data. Goodbye. Sayonara. See you later. So when we come back, we're going to bring you a third map. Heyo.
Let's go. What's up, and welcome back, everyone, to the Siege Double Shot here on the Outlast Contender League Grand Final. And you notice, joined by a new friend here, filling in for Whiskey Glitter, Bianca, a perennial favorite here at Outlast and many other leagues, joining me for some play-by-play casting as we head into Map 3.
Excited to be here. Ooh, I think it's my first time casting with you, so hopefully we can get into it immediately. I'm excited.
Yeah, I really appreciate you being able to fill in. So I think you're going to fit right in. I've been watching you as part of the Outlast Classic series, and glad that you're here tonight.
So appreciate your kind words.
All right, here we go into Chalet for our third map of the evening.
Ooh, looks so cool.
Yeah, love the flyover. So here we go, rolling into Chalet now. Goons up 2 maps to 0 currently. It is Zomblers' last opportunity to find a win, and the Goons main roster has been definitely known for being incredibly good on Chalet. So this is their map pick. Feel like this ACAD roster could also really show up here tonight.
I don't think I've ever gotten the opportunity to cast either the Academy team for Goons or Zomblers, so this is going to be a completely new experience as a whole, and I'm happy to see a Ram. Usually a Dokkaebi and a Ying is like pretty standard, at least what I've seen on Chalet. So Ram is something that I don't often get to see banned. Maybe the Zomblers are a little bit scared that Goons Academy might be a little bit cheeky with that Ram, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, there's tons of places on Chalet to be able to use the Ram to try and open up some of that vertical control, so want to try and avoid that, keep it off the board. So Solus going down, and Fenrir was such an important op as part of that border game. I'm wondering whether or not he's going to be the guy that goes down here. Zomblers
they left
starting.
him
They've got Zomblers is they're starting on defense. So who do they not want to play? That's the question.
Warden? What?
Okay, all right. They've been
Ying is
surprising us. They've been surprising with the bans all night. Warden.
Wow. That's I don't think I've ever seen Warden get banned, and Ying being off the board. I mean, flashes are a thing, of course, but I just feel like that's extremely situational. Maybe if they didn't ban Ying, Warden yeah, if they didn't ban Ying, maybe I don't know. Couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you. This is so weird.
Yeah, what an interesting setup. So on the last map we saw on border, the Zomblers banned Castle, IQ and Castle. It was a really interesting set. So kind of filling out that a little bit the same here, choosing some interesting ones. So Ram and Warden, but we're gonna see them start on defense downstairs on the first floor.
Yeah, Bar seems to be a hot pick. You know what? I feel like Bar, at least, prior to casting for PC, I always thought Bar was like an unpopular pick. Usually the tertiary set that nobody really ended up going unless they won both the first sites. But it seems like Bar is increasingly popular, and I'm assuming that they didn't ban the Fenrir because they wanted to take advantage of it, considering they're defending first. I see they've got the Fenrir locked and loaded, so maybe the reason why they decided to just go with the Warden ban was because they wanted to have the Fenrir on the board. But I mean, Fenrir is such a formidable operator on any map, so I guess it just comes down to, I guess depending on what the team really wants to play.
Yeah, there's a couple really critical push points you see here on Chalet that Fenrir can make a lot more difficult. So if you had to pick somebody, you're starting on defense first. You want to play the Fenrir, leave him on the board, so that way you can utilize his utility for yourselves and hopefully start off a little early. And that is Gek. He was the MVP on the last round, starting off on the ace, going to get that opening pick of the game, of the map, of the round.
Also want to say that usually I would feel like in a zombie ban would be a lot more I guess common here, but I guess not. And it doesn't seem like you're gonna be playing a zombie upstairs in library. As I say that, Fixer is gonna be taken down, and that's gonna be 2 kills for Mr. Gexlax. Just 2 minutes remaining, and already the boys on the Academy team have gotten a cheeky advantage. To say that the trade is gonna go out. How cheeky of that, bring it to a 2v4, just under 2 minutes remaining. And Mr. Fire, most call her Fur, is oh no, wanted goons. Oh. taking down
fire. Yeah,
one.
the last one left. He's gonna find one, maybe two, potentially empty frags. Trying to find
Nah.
one. Goes for the
God.
knife.
Oh no.
Eli
What a
closed out the
first round.
previous match on a knife kill, so he's the wrong guy to go for a knife on. Goon's going to take their first on attack to start off with. I'm really hoping that the Zomblers aren't feeling like their mental is a little bit down here. They've lost the first two maps, and now they're in a do or die scenario. They've got to win map 3 to force the fourth.
Yeah, and I mean, if they want to even think about winning, they're gonna have to win both of those. But again, that's the next map to come if they end up winning this. I hope they do, because if they don't, that would be a full sweep. And I feel like I said, I've never cast as omelets before. I would love to kind of see their full potential, or at least see, kind of, what they bring to the table. But that round just didn't seem promising at all, considering it was a near sweep. And with that, they're going to be going back bar, despite them, getting quite easily picked off last round. It seems like maybe they're going to try it again. Maybe they just, I mean, it seems like they've swapped up their operators. I again don't see an Azami. I feel like library is such a pivotal site to play, especially just in Chalet, and it just in general when it comes to this map, no matter really the site, unless you're going like basement. But regardless, I feel like it's such a pivotal place to hold, and yet they don't really have an Azami. I feel like Azami is a key operator to bring when you're trying to defend library.
Zomblers, you better be listening to B here. She's got the setup upstairs. Yeah, where is the Azami who can help you hold that upstairs location? But not going to be the case. They don't have a very big, heavy roam presence, with the exception of Flixer playing that Frost downstairs. They're mostly staying over on this south side of the map, rather focusing on the north. And right now we're seeing Goons taking advantage of that.
Yeah, they just. I think they already made their. Oh, I'm not sure that. I thought I saw somebody run by, but I guess not. Maybe it was the Jagger, and I just wasn't. I thought I saw red, but I guess I was wrong. But yeah, they've already kind of established a little bit of that big window over there by K9, and Gexlax's gonna start. Oh, he did punch that window at the bottom by those bottom main stairs, but it's gonna be running away and fire. Like you said, I don't feel like there's. It seems like they're holding downstairs a lot. I think I just saw two operators downstairs. Regardless, the academy team has yet to really make any big moves right now. 2 minutes on the board, and we've yet to see anything as of right now.
Yeah, one early pick came out that first round, but this round playing a little bit more slowly, a little bit more conservatively. I think from the Zomblers side, like we said, this is a do or die scenario for them. They've got to hold on, so they're going to play a little bit more carefully, but there those trades come out now as we hit the halfway point in the round.
And you know what? At least I'm happy to see the Zomblers does have a bit of the man advantage. And Gexlax, who had a very strong presence last round, actually, it seems like also Eli or Ellie. I'm not Eli or Ellie either. Eli. There we go. I know some people, when I say it's either Ellie or Eli, it really just depends. But the score just got equalized out as Yin will get taken down regardless. So Gexlax had a big presence last round with the 3 kills. And as I say that, Mr. Bayaki is going to take down. Oh my gosh. A 2-piece for the 2-piece. Oh, maybe it's Blake. He's going to take down. Oh my god, I think it's up to Lecky in a 1v3. Is this why Lecky? I don't know. There was somebody on console who his name is Lecky.
Yeah, that's him.
This is him. Oh my gosh. Yeah, wow, this is interesting to see. I didn't realize, but wow, Lecky. He was the last alive and gets taken down by Blake again. That's a 3-piece for him. Maybe Vigil is operator, although they lost the first round. And it was, they kind of got swept out. It seems like they closed out this round a lot better, leaving the score at 1-1, and they ended up winning that bar. So maybe it was just a little bit of, they were nervous the first round. Now they've started to pick it up.
Yeah, holding on a little bit longer, avoiding that early pick. The early pick there happened was a trade between them, so they started off 4-4, held on to that advantage all the way to the end. Good call there. We're going to see another first floor site. Going to see the kitchen dining side now, because that is, for Chalet, has absolutely been the meta we've seen shifted here. It happened really back in the middle of year 8, but first floor Chalet is where teams love to play, so I expect we're definitely going to see them hold upstairs in that master bedroom office area, and maybe ignore the library side. Maybe there's a lot of VOD of the SBL team opening up some floor holes, opening up and holding some of that library from mezzanine that was really working out well. Seen a couple teams try and adapt that strategy. We'll see whether or not Zomblers is going to take it on and try and hold off Goons from going up here.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
I noticed that I don't know, sometimes I guess it's maybe 50-50. Sometimes I see that kitchen hatch open. Sometimes people like to play upstairs, especially with that castle. They like to use it, I guess, as a way to kind of I guess get out of a sticky situation. Regardless, though, it seems like a pretty standard pretty much set up in regards or in terms of them going basement. We have a Mira that ends up playing over there by those by the double reinforcement wall, the little e-box kind of area, as well as a castle, which is pretty standard. A Kaid, something I'm gonna assume for that triple wall there is, and yeah, just pretty basic actually. I mean, hey, look, if it's not broken, don't fix it. If it works, it ends up working out. Honestly, I mean, it's a pretty basic setup. I like seeing kind of ballsy types of operators get brought in, but to be honest, you're playing it safe. You want to go for the operators that will give you the most success. It's a good lineup. It's a great lineup. It's standard, and there's a reason why it's used so often. As for the boys on attack, bringing a Dokkaebi, and again, just like last round, not too much. I guess Wanagoons is just kind of establishing what they're going to be doing as it's a minute has gone through the round, and not much action has happened just yet. As I say that, Flixer's going to take down Eli, bring it to a 5v4. Oh my god, the refrag came out. Scary to take down Flixer. There's a lot happening. Oh my gosh. Well, like onto Blake as well, and it's a 3v4.
Yeah, and like you said, what's on the line here? It's a $500 prize pool for the league, $300 for first, $150 for second. So you guys are fighting for $150 tonight in this map. That's what's on the line here. So trying to figure out here, half the round gone, still 4v3. Definitely slowed the pace down, right? We saw 3 of the kills come out already. Now both of the teams sort of holding back, taking a little bit more time to think about it, seeing this attacking team try and get themselves set up over there on the solar side, over there on trophy window, hoping to maybe bait fire out into an open place where they can get an angle on him.
Oh my gosh. As you just stopped speaking, Scary will take down Chipster, bringing it to a 2v4. The advantage is for the boys on Wanagoons, and as I'm speaking, Butcher's gonna, oh my gosh, gonna take down Fire, but Yen says no, taking down Butcher and Gexlax. A 1v4 just turns to a 1v2. The pressure is on. This poor man is alone with just about 30 seconds remaining. This is actually very winnable if he can, get these boys. Oh my god, that was
What a
if he could just
shot.
get one of these boys 100%, he can make this a 1v1. And in that scenario, at this point, Wiley is gonna have to make he's gonna have to start making a play somehow. The time is ticking. It's not gonna be in his favor. 15 seconds. Is he gonna see? I'm not sure. He's waiting for the head holes there, but I was gonna say maybe if he looks for the feet, it might be a little bit of a different story. Wiley waiting is gonna go through the rotate and takes down Yen. Oh my god, a valiant effort from Yen. Wiley will finish it up, but oh my god, that would have been amazing to have seen Yen win that, man. Oh gosh, I was honestly hoping that Yen would have won that, because that would have been incredible.
Oh, looks like we need to take a little bit of a tech pause and
Who just said that was for you, Bianca?
Yep, exactly.
Oh my god, how did they know? Oh my gosh.
And listening and watching, they were hanging out during the break and watched us come back in. So we'll take a quick break here for the tech pause, and we will be right back.
bombs from being defused by
Ooh,
attackers.
we're back, guys. After the technical pause, we have finally returned to watch round 4. And it seems like this 4th round, they're going to be going basement of Chalet. Last round was a little bit cheeky with that 4v1 ending in a 1v1. The boys on Goons Academy ended up winning it out. And now Zomblers will take us to basement.
That's right. First time we're getting to see something other than first floor here on Chalet. All the previous 3 rounds taking place on the first floor and sort of split. Wanagoons taking 2 of them on attack, Zomblers 1. So now they're going to try a different strategy, take it down to the basement. Definitely, I think it's moved into the least favorable site, so it's interesting that they chose that rather than the 2F. There's just a lot of entry points in through garage, through snowmobile, through the hatch and wine. We've seen a big push there recently as well. So hopefully the Zomblers have got something that they know they can work with here in basement that's going to throw off the Wanagoons ACAD team as they try to push themselves forward to more than a standard split. Zomblers has got to win out to stick to that 4-2 standard split.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, they're gonna have to be one step ahead of Goons Academy because, like we've said before, Goons is gonna be up, 2 maps already. This is the map that, I mean, they can afford to lose it, but unfortunately, Zomblers can't. And so they're gonna have to definitely get the edge and the advantage on the boys on the Academy team. As I say that, Ellie is going to shoot Mr. Chipster a little bit over there by Blue, putting him at a little bit, it seems like maybe about 75-ish HP. Still 5v5 though. And I did see that Dokkaebi roaming around upstairs. Blake is going to be a cheeky little booger. He hears some footsteps upstairs. The C4 was about to get ripped, but it won't. And Ellie's already in sight, taking down Chipster. Fire is going to get taken down as well. And oh my god, as he takes down Fizzler, Yen is going to finish him off for the refrag. Bring it to a 2v4. A minute 40 remains, and the pressure is on for the boys on Zomblers.
Boy, that entry in down in the basement from Eli, so quick and able to get a double off the back of that. Well played there from him. Good site positioning and take advantage of the fact that the defense was not holding so carefully downstairs. Like you said, you had Blake holding down close to Snowmobile, but that was not enough. And 4v2 with just over a minute left. And this is a tough spot for the Zomblers to try and climb back from. They still got some defensive utility, though, opening up those Goyo canisters, but it's going to be tough.
Absolutely, and this vertical is gonna seem to be devastating. I was gonna mention it, but as you were saying that there were a lot of entry points in the basement, I was gonna say I feel like vertical is also something that is like crazy down here. If you can really get a hold of the verticality and be able to play it well, it can be a real thorn in the side of the defenders. As I say that, Blake is gonna get contested by these west main stairs, but he's gonna take down White Lucky, bring it to a 2v3. 30 seconds just about remain. Scary wanting to make his way down these main stairs. Butcher though is going to get tagged up a little bit. He's finally made his way down, and I don't think they necessarily know that he's here just yet. He does have the bomb, but is he going to try and plan? Maybe, hopefully his teammates might be able to hold him from above, but as I say, they do realize that he's inside. His C4 is going to get thrown out to take him down, but Gexlack is going to take down Blake. A 1v2 again. It's Yen to save the round, just like last round. He was in a 1v4. Bring it to a 1v2. Gexlax gets him from Blue, and that will close out the 4th round. Unfortunately, the boys on Zomblers are going to be at a real disadvantage now. It's going to be 1-3. If they want to get just the normal split, they're going to have to win these next 2 rounds.
Yeah, exactly. You called it. Great play there. Good rotation from Geklax. Finding his way around. Man, just they had good positioning. They had good entry. And then able to... I thought maybe they had cracked some of that defensive utility, popped those Goyo canisters a little bit early with those last 20 seconds. The attackers had the time to push in. It's exactly what happened. They opened it up maybe just a little bit too early. Plenty of time for him to walk in and rotate and then pinch that last defensive player left alive. So Wanagoons ACAD goes up 3-1 as we head into round 5. And if you're just joining us, this is the Outlast Contender League Season 4 Grand Final, best of 5. But we're already down 2 maps. Wanagoons have taken Bank and Border both. So this is Zombler's last opportunity to try to find a map win tonight. Otherwise, they're going home in a sweep.
5 seconds
Yeah, which is quite unfortunate because, I would love to see Zomblers,
Attackers objective
push
is
it
securing
and
the
see a
bomb.
little bit more of the strategies and what they can bring to the table, but it's not looking too bright as of right now. As I was thinking, they've gone back bar. It seems like they aren't going to try. I think they're just afraid of this third floor. I mean, to be fair, obviously bar, that was, I believe, the one round that they won. It was in bar, so I guess if they won it, maybe they'll win it once again. But they did lose the first time going there. They actually won it the second time when they re-went. But like I've said, like you said, they last round they went the first floor, the main floor, and then they went basement. Upstairs didn't seem to be on their lineup at all. And as I'm speaking, Scary will get taken down, as well as Gexlax taken down by Fizzler. And Gexlax, however, will not go down without taking Blake with him, bringing it to a 4v3. And just about 2 minutes remaining. Lecky is down nearby a small garage. Somebody was in the basement being sneaky, but I think that they just nearly got away, and time is a ticking, and it seems like Ellie is quite of a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to the HP. I believe somebody is just outside of library there to hopefully slow these boys down, as well as top blue.
Yeah, holding on to that top blue, that is a power position. The defense always trying to protect that shield, but it goes down from one of those Flores drones, and you called it, Eli. Very low health. Butcher 50 HP as well. This one's looking pretty good for Zomblers to start with. Plus, you've got a Doc on their side, so whether you're 1-5 or 99, he'll be able to bring you back to full health with those stims. So that's certainly what the wanted Goons teams need. They need a little extra health here, but they're not going to get it until the round is over.
You said it perfectly. Unfortunately, these boys are going to have to stick with this HP. But in a game where a headshot means everything, they don't necessarily have to have 100 if they have 1 HP and get that headshot. They will end up getting the kill. But regardless, it's always good to have more than less. A minute now, it ticks down. They didn't have the diffuser, but they will pick it up now. Ellie will take it, and he's going to start hopefully making his way through. As I say that, Flixer is going to take him down. That's a triple for him, and it's up to Butcher in a 1v4, but that will not last long. Flixer, again, I believe that is a quad, will finish off Butcher, and it's looking good. That was a very decisive round for the boys on Zombies, or Zomblers, sorry. Sorry, Zomblers. Oh my gosh, I said Zomblers, as they win that out in a 4v1. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, great play there. Zomblers up. Uh, Finding a 1-round win. So the best they can do here, a 3-3 split, and that's exactly what they need. They've got to hold on. This is the Wannagoons map pick. Very good on Chalet. So, no, they struggled a bit. We did see 2 3-3 habs, though, on border, and they did take that one all the way to double OT. So even though right now Wannagoons are up 2-0 in the map count, doesn't feel like it tells the complete story. This has definitely been a closer matchup across those two maps than the scoreline shows. Doesn't represent how close the Zomblers have come here to winning rounds and maps. They just haven't found a way to close it out, and that's what they got to do here. Find a way to close it out, win this final round on defense, and then get aggressive on attack and show the Wannagoons ACAD that they can take this map to push us into the fourth. So gonna see it's gonna come down to this, their final round in the first half.
Yep, and I mean, last time they played Kitchen, Yen had to 1v4, and he nearly clutched it out as he made it a 1v1. Unfortunately, he couldn't do much with that. It seems like they aren't going to take the mirror. They're going to opt out of having that mirror with them playing on the third floor like they did last time, and instead it seems like I'm not sure. I don't think they had Frost last time. I believe the Frost is what they're going to be swapping in. And I mean, Frost is not that horrible. I feel like, I guess Mira can be a pivotal operator to bring here if you're going kitchen, but maybe they just decided maybe it's better we switch it up a bit. Maybe the mirror didn't work as well as they expected against the boys on the academy team. However, they are still going to have the castle, of course. That is pretty basic when just in general for Chalet, bringing the castle upstairs. And it looks like Chipster is going to be holding it upstairs with Mr. Blake.
Yeah, that's right. And Flixer going to push up as well and got his traps down. So the sixth man, those Capcan traps already out, hoping
like
that they're going to catch the Wannagoons ACAD team, being a little bit aggressive, pushing up, and maybe get caught by one of those traps. But that's Lecky going down. Eli has still got the the Deimos out. We haven't seen him played very often, but when he is and when he can stay alive, his ability to find those final defensive roamers is almost unmatched.
You know what? I see that. I think Deimos is such a great operator. I really just suck at pistols, and I feel like I would never be able to play Deimos to his full ability because I'm so bad with pistols. As I see that the cheeky little interaction at the bottom of this garage seems like a verticality is being made. As I say that, Eli, we were just speaking about Deimos is gonna take down a fire, bring it to a 4v4, but Blake will take down Scary, which will make it a 4v3 at the advantage of the boys on Zomblers. However, Eli is scarily close to sight, and as he's pushing through this Deimos, he's going to get him. Jexlax is going to take down Yen, actually. Oh my gosh, there are shots fired everywhere. Blake on a Gexus for the refrag, and Butcher taking Blake. That is a refrag after a refrag, a double refrag. Fizzler is going to be coming down. Oh my god, you said it. The 6th man. I like that. I said that earlier. You said the 6th man is all placed out, and that's a great way to think about it. The 6th man was definitely a great helping hand for that round, leaving the boys as Zomblers, who were looking a little bit shaky at the start, closing out half at 3-3. This is honestly the best case scenario for the boys on Zomblers.
Yeah, this is what they needed. They needed to end that one 3-3. They came together after that little bit of a pause timeout, winning, losing first that basement site, but then taking the next 2 on the first floor. So great play by them. And yeah, you should definitely try out that Deimos pistol. There's not a lot of recoil, a lot of damage. That's a fun one to play with. So I'm glad we're getting to see him played a little bit more. And yeah, you saw him use those mini drones, suss out exactly where those defenders were playing, gave him all the intel he needed, who was playing behind the chassis, behind the kitchen, that dining room table, and found exactly where he needed to be to get that kill. So going to take a little bit of an alternative approach on the GOONS ACAD side. They're going to bring out that Miro, like you talked about, hold down that main hallway.
Yeah, and like you were saying with the Deimos, he was able to flush with that operator with the grenade. As he walked into site, he got the kill, but ended up getting killed almost immediately after. And I like seeing the mirror here. One thing that they don't have is Castle. I feel like Castle is such a just a standard operator, especially on Chalet. I love playing Castle on Chalet. And here's what I'm saying. See, Zomblers opted to have that hatch reinforced, but the Goons Academy decides to have it open. I feel like I see it open a lot more times than I see it closed. But again, it just comes down to the team and how they're going to end up playing it. I'm happy that they're going to be going kitchen. Like I said, I usually see them going bar first. But with that, Eli will get the first kill, and it will be onto Chipster. That's a Nomad gone. That's honestly quite a big of an operator to get, off early, other than, the hard breach. Nomad has an extremely pivotal role helping with flank watch.
Yeah, that's right. And you talked about the hard breach being on the board, but both Flixer and Yen go down in quick succession. Eli going crazy with a triple, and it is all up to Blake, and he was stuck in a tough position. Wanted Goons going flawless on their first.
That was great on the side of Wanted Goons. After that loss right before split, they come back stronger than ever with a cheeky little flawless round to really, they got that momentum going, really getting it down. They've put their foot down. They decided, well, we've lost the last 2 rounds, but it's okay. Now we're really going to start getting to business. Almost are going to definitely have to work hard to get moving. And I see a Mira. I was going to say, I feel like they're going to be going bar, but instead they're actually going to be opting to go to the basement, which you mentioned earlier is, I think, the most uncommon site to get played on Chalet. But I guess between these teams, it seems like both of them don't mind going the odd basement site.
Yeah, interesting that they haven't chosen to play that upper side. So, again, maybe just trying to throw it off, but GOONS ACAD, this is their map pick, so I think they're very comfortable with it. See, so far, they seem to be winning the mental game a little bit there, too. So, a lot of the all chat coming out in the game, and hopefully both of the teams can stay focused, because from a viewer perspective, we'd love to bring you a map 4, but that means Zomblers has got to pull together, find a way to win Chalet here on attack. And that first round went went very much in the favor of Goons ACAD being a flawless. Looked very good.
Attackers dropped the
Yes, and honestly, I mean, maybe it's not enough to shake Zomblers, but that definitely should be a wake-up call. That maybe I'm not sure if they were a little bit lenient considering that they had just one split to leave it at 3-3, but that flawless was not something that was, quite beautiful. And as I'm saying this, it doesn't seem like they're gonna have any denial. They're just gonna let this main wall, this main garage wall get open. The smoke's gonna be coming out. The diffuser's already gonna get planted. This seems like it's gonna be a fast plant, but it doesn't matter. Chips is going to take down Scary. Gex is going to take down Mr. Blake, who did have the bomb as he was. Monty Fire is also going to take down Scary. A 4v3 bomb is going to start getting planted again, and Maleki is going to take down again a 3v3, and that's the second time they tried to plant the bomb, and it didn't end up working. Fire, though, was going to take down Eli, a 3v2. Now, not even a minute into the round, and oh my gosh, it's already a 3v1. Twice tried to plant a flash. Will go out. Chipster is going to start planting that bomb, and hopefully the boys on main stairs are going to be watching both Blue and Split so that they can help him out. And oh my god, Wilecki, jeez. Speaking of Chipster, Flixer though with the instant refrag, that is what his teammates are for. And although they lost the first round of Split due to a flawless, they did pick it up a little bit, bringing it 4-4.
What a roller coaster ride that round was. I thought, we're seeing the attackers, the quick plant, they open up the breach, there's no denial, they bring in the Monty, but then all of a sudden he falls, and it looks like the defense has completely got the upper hand. Then a bunch of trades come out, and the attackers seem to have the upper hand, and it's just like we could not figure out which way that round was going to go. And I'm really surprised they're running it back. That one seemed like the Zomblers had the attack set up. Could have easily gone either way, but certainly they had the upper hand for most of it. Just a roller coaster here on map 3. So we're tied up 4-4 heading into round 9.
Absolutely right. That is honestly not something that I was expecting as Zomblers. And I'm not sure if that just ended up working out because of the fact they didn't have a denial, but it seems like they're not going to have a denial again. They're just going to let their reinforced walls be reinforced walls. And, I'm not sure if I could really say the Zomblers are going to try that again. That was honestly quite a ballsy play. They tried to plant that bomb, mind you, 3 times. The Monty went down, the Thermite went down, and I believe it was a Nomad that ended up getting taken down. Regardless, they still
Nailed
ended up
it.
winning the round. So, although they did try to plant that bomb 3 times, they did end up winning it out. So it didn't matter all in the end. And they do have an ace as well as a Thermite Gridlock as well. No Nomad, and of course, basic Buck and Ash.
Yep, you can hear those hard breach charges going off, working on opening up that main wall. But based on what we're seeing here, it looks like the execute is starting to focus on the other side of the map. So maybe that opening up main breach, bit of a distraction, and trying to change up the approach, even though the defense going to that same site. Gonna see the attackers take a different approach, and that was Gexlax outside, putting a little bit of phantom pressure on the attackers. So a little bit of a run out down there on the backside of the garage.
Maybe just trying to spook him out. I like that. Some phantom pressure. And as I speak, Ellie is going to take down Fire Zombie already. Zomblers at a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to man count. Just over a minute has already ticked down through this round. And Ellie actually a formidable force up a stairs. Flixer that was going to take down Gexlax, equalizing out the score. Not too shabby. Chipster is going to be being a sneaky little bean around by the kitchen. Flixer also's got 11 kills. Oh my gosh. As I was saying that though, both Gexlax and Eli both have 9 kills. They're doing quite well for themselves and for the team. Other than that, it seems like the boys on attack are going to be taking it a little bit slow and steady. They've gotten their refrag, and so they've equalized it out in terms of player counts. And now they've got just over a minute remaining. They've got a lot of time to scope it out and really figure out what type of approach they're going to take.
Yeah, putting down that flank watch with the gridlock, trying to hold on to that upper kitchen dining area and prevent the defenders from maybe making the rotate back up those fireplace main stairs, try and push down here against the defenders. So they've got, you can see the, again, those a lot of pressure upstairs coming, pushing on the wine side of this, and still got 4-4. We're all stacked up. There's 40 seconds left. Going to be down to 30 seconds for a piece. The trades are going to be ringing out like crazy here in these last 20 seconds of the round.
Yen has been doing amazing this game. I feel like I see him get some pretty cheeky kills, and you're absolutely right. These are my favorite types of rounds where the time is ticking and ticking. It's a 10-second type meta. It's just everybody shooting bullets, like you say, refrag after refrag after refrag, ticking down to 10 seconds. Like it's gonna get taken down by Yen again for the double kill. Butcher, however, at Scary. Oh my gosh, how did they come back from this a 1v1? But it will not matter. As I couldn't even speak as fast as the kills were coming out. Scary will get that final kill, putting the boys on Goons Academy at the advantage. That round, like I said, those are my favorite types of rounds where you don't even understand which shots, who's watching what angle, and which shots are coming from, etc., etc. Those are the best. And wow, that would have been crazy again to have seen Zomblers win that out. But Goons Academy, they just know exactly what they're doing. These pressure situations, they will not crack under no matter what.
Yeah, and so we're heading down to this first floor kitchen dining site, and this one is so far has been definitely in favor of the Goons. We've seen this site played 4 times. Goons winning it 3 of the 4, both on attack and defense. They've had some success, so this one feels very good. This is their opportunity to push it to match point. And when we get there, oh man, is the pressure going to be on for this Zomblers team. So what are they going to choose? Hopefully they've got the drones in place to get some intel on this team. The attackers and the defenders have brought a pretty good lineup. I like seeing the mirror on the board. Gexlax on that Fenrir, that is going to be a big highlight. And Eli was definitely going crazy. You called him out, both him and Gex at 9 kills apiece. Clear frag leader, though. Flicks are going to try and stay alive on the Nomad, that flank watch, as they try and get themselves ready to plant first floor.
Absolutely right. I feel like both the teams are pretty evened out. Both of their teams have crazy potential. I think everybody's practically playing their part almost perfectly. I don't think that I have anything really bad to say about either team, to be honest. Both the teams are coming in and performing extremely well. I just realized Gexlax kind of reminds me of Kobilax. I don't know if Kobilax plays PC as well, but that's funny to see. There was somebody on console named Kobilax, but anyways, I digress. The round has just begun, and Nomad, Mr. Flix, is already going to start establishing kind of a point of entry as he's making his way through the big window, trying to scope out, see if anybody is going to be holding in through a library and maybe bathroom, a little bit of solar. As I say that, it's going to be scary, nearly 200 pumping somebody in the face, but it will not take them out. Of course, he just nearly evades it, and now the round goes to 2 minutes. Lecky and Scary both getting kills. Chipster will get Lecky as well, but it will not matter. Butcher taking down a Felixer, a 1v4 already. The pressure is on Chipster, and it will not matter. That is going to be match point in favor of the boys on Wanted Goons. It's unfortunate. Zomblers is going to have to win these next, I believe it's 2 rounds, flawlessly if they want to even smell winning this map, which it's going to be hard. Absolutely no mistakes, or at least not drastic mistakes, drastic enough to have them lose a round, and a timeout will come out. That's exactly what we need to see right now.
Yeah, we've seen the Zomblers so far have taken and used their timeout on all 3 maps, and unfortunately they have not been able to convert that into a round win. Goons definitely just playing a little bit better. It's just a little bit is all they need to try and push themselves over the edge here. We talked about it. This is match point, and it's not just match point here on this map. It's also series point and grand final point at this point, because Goons is up 2-0 in the map count. So we see the Goons take this next round. They are going to be the Outlast Contender League Grand Champions. But Zomblers are going to try and hold out a little bit longer and be perfect for 2 to push us to OT for our second map tonight.
Yeah, the pressure is on for Zomblers. They're going to have to really lock in. And I noticed you said that although they've been calling the timeouts these last 2 maps as well, they haven't had any success after. Is that really true?
That's right. Unfortunately, they've called a
No.
timeout in both of the previous maps, which I do love to see them taking the timeouts, using what they've got available to try and get the win. But yeah, they have not been able to convert that into map wins. It's unfortunate because they've been fighting, going all the way to double OT and border on that previous map. But here, last opportunity for them right now. Got to come up with 2 wins in a row.
Wow, that is intense, intense, intense. These boys really gotta. It's literally a do or die situation. I think Whiskey Glitter was the one that had told me that usually the team that takes the timeout ends up winning the next round. There's like a 75% chance that the team that ended up taking the timeout will end up winning the round right after. But maybe Zomblers is just define the norms. They're in the minority, that little 25% of that statistic, unfortunately. Hopefully, we can see them turn the tables around, but Goods Academy is going to take us to a master a bedroom, the top floor. Let's see how well they can hold this out, or really, let's see how well Zomblers can adapt and make this situation go 5-6.
Yeah, and so far they're 50-50. That is the normal statistic that we've seen here on the Siege Double Shot about 75% of the time, but the Zomblers are 50-50. They lost on the first map and they won on the second, so we'll see whether or not this is going to be their chance here. Are they going to win, push it to 5-6? I hope so from the viewer perspective, and if you're a Zomblers fan, you certainly want to see that tonight. Good setup here from the defense. They've got a hold all across the map, exactly where they need to be. A lot of utility spent on that second floor, and
What does that say? I'm
yep, Scary having a little bit of fun
I'm
with.
Stu. Oh, who knows? We'll never know. Flexer will take down Ellie. Oh man, that would have been cheeky to have seen a 5v4. Those Zomblers having a little bit of the edge as they lead in terms of players, but Scary seems like a scary opponent. He's going to be cheeky around by West Main. He might just be a thorn in some people's sides. A minute and a half just about remain in the round. Time is ticking. And as we say that, Gexx will take down Fire a 4v4. Turns into a 3v3.
Oh,
Gexx gets 2, but Blake will take down Butcher. And it's evened out. It's hard to say who can win. Scary will take down Chipster, though. A minute 15. Oh my god, it's shot after shot after shot. Flixer is going to take down Scary in a minute 10 left.
2v2 with the last minute in gameplay left. Match point, series point, grand final point on the line. Zomblers, this is it. Gotta hold it together, and she's lying, just peeking that half wall. He gets taken down, but doesn't die. Thank goodness. He's able to be recovered. Got a little bit of the health benefit here, and just peeks it again. Gexx going crazy. Lion, why did you peek that one again? That's unfortunate. Gonna get a late round reinforcement, and Wanted Goons ACAD taking it.
Wow, that was flawless. This was a BO5 for a grand final, but they won it. Well, obviously not with ease, but you know, if you were to look at it just score based, they just won it 3-0. No way, these boys got that dog in them.
Yeah, crazy to see that one go so quickly. I can't believe we're already over. What we're going to do, though, we are going to set ourselves up for an interview, so stick around for
Oh,
just a few
nice.
minutes and we get that interview set up, and we will have one of the Wanted Goons on channel to give us some hints, give us some thoughts on how they won that match. What's up and welcome back, and big GGs and congrats to the Goons ACAD team. And we have got Eli with us for the interview, not on cam tonight, but here and ready to answer your questions. Bianca, what do you have for Eli?
Obviously, I think the biggest question: how do you feel after winning? That was 3 maps. It was meant to be a BO5. Of course, it was a BO5, but you guys ended up sweeping the competition in the least amount of matches possible. How do you feel?
I mean, we feel good that we won, obviously, but we're kind of disappointed in ourselves. We took it way too long. That was
Okay.
Way too long. There was only one map that went to OT. Other than that, I mean, for sure on that on the first and third map, you guys did a really great job on your picks.
yeah, I feel like we definitely won in the map bans, but aside from that, we were mostly just winning our gunfights. But whenever we lost, we were just not winning our gunfights.
Yeah.
Guess that makes sense.
Well, I gotta say, we've had a chance to cast you guys across a variety of leagues and in a variety of different names and forms. So, in the current setup, though, who's sort of the IGL? Who's running the team on your side?
We don't really have a set IGL, but usually it's Gek and I. We're making the calls. Depends on the map. I took border, he took bank, and then we both did a bit of chalet.
All right. Well,
So yeah, it's just more of a mixed thing.
it's definitely an interesting way of approaching it. Most teams definitely have more of a set person that's doing it,
Yeah.
but that shows a lot of flexibility on your side to be able to trade off between maps.
Yeah, I mean, we don't. All of our players are competent enough on our own, so we usually just like we like to have like a set area where we go, but we don't like we don't tell like every person where to go. Everyone knows what to do enough, so we kind of just walk around and find gaps, hit the gaps, win the round.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the confidence is coursing through your veins. It seems like these guys know exactly what they're doing, hands down. They just have a little bit of IGL to kind of run, kind of, I guess, the blueprint of what's going on, and then everybody kind of
Yeah.
just is able to fill in the gaps. That's exciting. I wish I was here for the first 2 maps. Unfortunately, I wasn't. But Hmm, I guess I don't have too much to say, I guess, other than I guess congratulations for now. I wish I had more to say, but unfortunately I didn't get to watch the first 2 games. So
Yeah.
for
No
me it was
worries.
really just more of how are you feeling after this? But I guess,
You
I
guys
mean it seems like he's disappointed a little bit.
Just I know. Interestingly, you guys won 3-0 in a best of 5. I have a little bit of disappointed. I feel like that really shows you guys a strength as a team. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
how you feeling about taking that into the Outlast Classic series? You guys have earned your spot in
yeah,
the next league up.
that was mainly the goal of this, because the T3, like this is more like T4, so getting into the T3 league is actually just like kind of where we want to be and see how we do in that. Because I mean, there's really not like much competition in this league for us. Not
Oh,
like not trying to be like overconfident, but
oh
it's just
wow.
more fun playing against better teams. So
Yeah, I guess
I
that's a standard
understand
thing.
that for sure. One of the questions that I know if Whiskey Glitter was here, he loves to ask this question. I think we've asked it to everyone we've had a chance to do an interview with. And if you could take one operator out of the game of Siege forever,
oh man,
who is that for you?
I mean, it's got to be Capcan, the most like skillless operator of all. Like
Oh wow.
it's so unskilled. Like you just put a trap down. It's
That's actually
just
funny because one of the rounds you guys ended up losing was at the hands of a
yeah,
cat.
yeah. It's annoying because I mean, there's not like when it's late round, you're not checking doors for Capcans. So
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You can't check everything, can't check every doorway, can't check every single
hmm
corner. So it just ends up being a bit of a thorn in the side. I guess that's
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a perfect response.
So, what do you guys have on tap? I know there's quite a few leagues that are running here. Like we said, got a chance to cast you guys and part of a different team for the Blitz Gaming series yesterday. Have anything else planned for the rest of the summer?
Um. Well, for the summer, well, we got 4 minors on our team, so no element for us.
Unfortunate.
Oh wow. Oh, that was
Um.
funny. That was
Yeah,
funny.
but
Sorry.
other than that, I mean, we'll just we're definitely gonna be playing TPL this next upcoming weekend.
Oh, is
I
that
don't
the
know.
Project League?
Hmm?
What the
No.
project?
The
Oh, thought that
TPL,
was.
yeah, TPL, the Premier League, or now
The Premier
just
League, yeah.
now
Ah.
just TPL, but for sure, definitely good luck as you guys roll through that one.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to see to anybody else that's still watching?
Nothing in particular. Just thanks everyone for watching. Hope everyone had a good time.
Oh.
We absolutely
Um,
did. Really happy to have you on.
Thank you guys. Am I good?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Thank you guys.
Have a great night.
Bianca, thank you very much for joining me and filling in for Whiskey Glitter. And when he had to take a leave there, it's been a long weekend of casting for us, and we greatly appreciate you being a part of the Double Shot team and joining us here and helping out with the Outlast Contender League Grand Final.
No worries. It was a pleasure having me, and it was an amazing game to be able to cast and watch as well. I'm so happy that you guys called me up because this was a great experience. I got to see both these teams, which I've never been
Yep.
able to cast before. So, of course, the new experience and seeing new teams play is always the best for me. And I believe this is the first time that I'm casting with you, and it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. We've had a chance to work together plenty of times on the observation side, but glad I got to cast with you as well. So I think that's it. We've finished up everything for tonight. Really appreciate everyone that joined us. And big GG's obviously to the Wanted Goons Academy team for winning tonight. Zomblers came so close on a couple of those maps, and looking forward to see what they're going to be bringing in the future as well.
Yep. I guess that's also I'm closing out. Bye to everybody, and thank you for watching. Hopefully I get to see you guys again back on this channel. It was a pleasure.
Have a great night. Thanks, everyone.
Bye guys.